the Katina Man, and the Amazonian. Take it over, please.
Yo. Welcome back.
You've got about Randy.
Well, of course.
Randy, how was the spaghetti? How was the pasta bolognese over there? I don't know. When I went to look at it, it was all gone. Did you have any?
No, it was all gone. I had some pasta and some vegetables.
Okay, yeah, I'm never too excited about that stuff. And then we had that, some sort of a turkey-like substance on the salad. Yeah. I don't know if turkey's supposed to come in like a prefabbed.
Yeah, that was supposed to be turkey? It was ground turkey, I think. Right? Maybe.
I don't know. I'm trying to question what it was.
Highly processed.
When anything's ground out, I'm always sketched out. I'm just like, what are you really putting in there? How much of that's really meat? How much of that's really like bones and guts and everything else?
Don't ever watch any videos on how
hot dogs are made? Yeah. No, I know exactly how hot dogs are made. But it's just like...
How... Chicken McNuggets? They're so tasty, though. Yeah. How are Teslas made, Randy?
How are Teslas made?
Up 7%. Great hot fire.
Oh,
wish we still had this trade. I said, no, I know Obi was the other way. We'll talk about all this too. But like, you know, both of us starting off the long and then just being like, today's going to be a long day. You should have a little more on board there. But what do you think about that, Randy? Now it's nice to see Elon back in the business of being at work. And you can see right now, not that you and I know anything about that, but you can see right here busting out on the daily chart. Tesla finally starting to break out. And I brought it to Randy's point. Last year at this time, we were $170. So you're up 100% from last May. So what say you on?
It's been a hot minute. I mean, that's like, wow, like what it doubles and, you know. Yeah,
I mean, it's literally as my
anybody who bought a year ago is sitting pretty.
But then you had to go through the thing is that it did go up. So you bought it at 170, and Trump came into power there, it went to 480, $500. So you almost had 3x, more than 3x your money. Now you're just getting back in. But you think the Tesla story, like, tell me something about it. Like, what, their car sales were down quite remarkably there in Europe, right?
We've talked about this how many times, but BYD is coming with a full head of steam, and it's going to happen in Europe. It's going to happen elsewhere. There's lots of things in the works that we have not yet seen.
Right.
You know,
so that's the story.
I want my Model 2 and I want the Roadster and you know, I want to see 1,000 semis on the road. We've not seen that yet. There's lots
BYD
to do.
Down 10% today.
Yeah.
I must have missed that story.
Well, there's a couple things at play there, but I think long term, there's much work to do with Elon, and I'm glad he's back at the helm. But yeah, he's the guy who notoriously can promise things and not deliver. So let's get delivering. Let's get back on track, and it's been quite a ride in a year. Maybe we can have another year like that.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope we can get another good year for Tesla. Okay, thanks, Randy, for that one. Yeah, look, I'm still long a little bit of that.
Perpetual squeeze, right?
Tomorrow I will be on, I was telling you about this, the League Lag report.
Ooh.
Between 1:30 and 2 o'clock in the space that they are doing. So I'm going to, you know, get that going and talk a little bit about that. This is what I'm going to be on tomorrow, just getting this all through here. Look, where's Sharif at? He's over there. So tomorrow, I just want to show you, where is it? No. Hold on a second here. I got to find, he was talking about everybody that's joining it. I'll get it in a minute. But Danny Ives, Guy Adami, and now Trader TV Sean. We're gonna get over all that in a second. I'll find it for you. I don't want to just scroll through the guy's timeline, but that should be fun. Why? We must have missed a report on BYDDF today, but I know China's been getting hit a little bit, obviously to the south side, and there goes Boyd downside, Tesla upside. We're still $1 and change in the money on these TQs as well. We have that still on board and still a decent amount of shares as well as that goes to the upside. Look at it ride the 50-period moving average straight up this whole way. So that was a good little move there for the Nasdaq, up to 71 and change there. So yeah, look, it's been an exciting day. We're excited that you're back with both Obi and myself. And it should be pretty good. So we're going to just continue to watch out for this market for you. Eyes on. Palantir, I don't know. I'm not sure where'd Satya go? I know you guys were asking her all afternoon or all midday, but I don't know what happened to Palantir today. I mean, I thought I would come in and be upset. Like we went to the gym, we got out, you know, we got stopped out right before we left you guys. And that turned out to be a great out as Palantir goes down to 121 while the Nasdaq is up 2.3%. Palantir's down 0.6%. So a little interesting development there for me, anyways, as we think about what's going on with PLTR. But yeah, so far so good. So
yeah, not too bad. I see some people in the chat asking about where I stopped out of the Tesla short. Yeah, I was 100% very wrong on it, and I think I had the 350. Eventually, I got an average of 356s. Stopped out on the break of this high, and when it started holding that 358, so stopped into the 358s. And yeah, pretty much shut down on the day on that move. I was, I don't know why I was so convicted, but I did have a little bit of conviction, but did not appropriately manage the risk, right? That's what we talk about, kind of having that appropriate risk management. I did not follow any of that today. And I was talking to Sean about this a little earlier, and a couple of my peers as well. As of recent, I guess, as of last week, a bit of, I guess, a bit of a rut. A bit of a hurdle there, kind of giving back a decent chunk of my month. The month started off absolutely amazing, very, very consistent, back-to-back greens, and then I kind of gave it back. I'll give it all back within 3 days now. So that's something I have to work on. I got to think about. But again, this is part of the journey as a trader, and I'm sure you can speak on this a lot more than I can. But again, we were talking about this last week as well. Being able to stomach large fluctuations on during your journey, right? It's like, all right, well, you know, once you become extremely seasoned, yeah, you definitely want to have a lot of those things ironed out. But again, all I was looking for was a reversion to VWAP, and guess what? It gave me that reversion to VWAP. But guess what? I wanted more. I wanted even more. That's the issue. It's like at this point in my current time in my trading, I'm having a little bit of a battle with ego, if you want to call it. It's not necessarily the trade. The trade off of the morning session was there, 350 long, very strong technical breakout. Elon's back in shop. Like there are very strong reasons to buy this ticker. I'm looking for the reversion. For the reversion to VWAP, it gives it to me, but then I'm like, oh, it got to VWAP, now I'm looking for more. So it's like, all right, so how can I quell that ego going forward? That's something that I'm working on right now. But for the rest of the day, we'll just be taking some reps, watching this market, this aggressive bid. You see, we were talking about market tailwind in the morning. Take a look at that market tailwind now. We've sold off aggressively off into the open, but we've only been catching a bid since that initial 15-minute candle. We talked about how strong that initial wick was, and guess what? Those buyers showed up in the first 15 minutes, and they've been here pretty much for the rest of the session. So only about 2 hours left, Sean. I don't know where this market will close, but it seems like buyers are definitely in charge. We're breaking out of higher time frame levels. Tesla's back in action. Stair-step squeeze. We talk about Tesla, how it's been a perpetual squeeze, and today's a perfect example of that, where we can take aggressive pullbacks and then take 50% retracements, almost back at all-time highs at 500, 500s and change. We're trading at 360, so absolutely crazy there. But yeah, where's the next trade? That's what I'm asking. Shut down for the day. That's okay. Tomorrow's another day. We will recap and review later tonight, and come back tomorrow stronger. That's all I got really right now. But let's see what you guys had on watch with the rundown.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The boys are locked and loaded, Obi in for Neil, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers on there, join Joseph and I on the midday show and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. You got to be a subscriber in order to vote and chat and engage with us, so make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. Just a quick look here at the futures, guys. The NQ having a hell of a day, up 0.2%. Likewise with the SPY, it's up nicely as well, about 2%. The Dow, the worst performing of all four major averages. The Russell 2000 above that 2% as well. NVIDIA, the first name as decided by you guys as well. It should be. It is reporting earnings after the bell tomorrow. Make sure to catch that with Sean and I on the Market Recap Show. We're getting that NVIDIA earnings party started and warmed up, guys. Up over 3%. A couple of headlines. Obviously, the reporting earnings tomorrow, but we found out today that they're making yet a third version of a China-specific GPU AI chip, which hopefully will hold up with regulatory muster there, guys. So the market liking that, and it's up nicely on the day.
Yeah, thanks, Sharif. Yeah, it should be a fun one tomorrow. Make sure you do join us. I mean, it's going to be another big report. The only place you ever want to look for your earnings is going to be right with us, because I'm going to have a live level 2 up.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have live immediate analysis. We're going to have possibly, if I can convince, maybe even Joe might even stay. You know, we have Sharif already, but maybe we'll have all three. Obi, it's going to be exciting.
Of course.
We're going to look at AMD's response.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to see what NVIDIA does. We're going to watch SockSell. We're going to watch some Broadcom.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to see what jacket Jensen's wearing. We're excited.
Might be leather.
Maybe leather, maybe blue.
Yeah. I wonder if we can
what tie is
polymarket
Jerome
that.
Powell wearing? We don't have it there right here, but I'm wondering what tie Jerome Powell's wearing.
Yeah. Statistical significance, apparently.
There is some sort of. I was like, Adair, what is even happening right here? She's like, no, I have some statistical significance here, or whatever it was. And she was right. So, all right. Apparently, when he wears purple tie, I think it's bullish. I can't remember. I have to go through that. But shout out to Adair. We'll be back on Thursday, I believe. So we're excited to have her back. And Sharif, did you cook up those eggs that she got you, or for the birthday? Oh, he already ate them all, so they're already gone.
Nice.
One of the better gifts, you know, and you use it immediately. But okay, so I think we were right. Today I didn't put NVIDIA down. I wrote down SockSell was an idea that we wanted. I didn't like some of that news story, man. I mean, it's kind of like why Tesla was able to get that huge bump, Amazon and all that stuff early on, because they're the only choice, right? They're only game in town, right? Tesla was hot, Amazon was hot. Now you're starting to see Temu, you're starting to see Walmart, like some of these other services. I don't think anybody's coming after Amazon, but you're seeing them come after Tesla, and we just saw Tesla's sales downside, okay? So NVIDIA with Huawei, like taking 50% of their Chinese business, like it's not a great story for NVIDIA, but for some reason it keeps on working, keeps on chugging. Today's move down, not surprisingly, we did have an early imbalance on the stock that was the sell side, brought it to the downside, and then it just caught a bid and just kept on going. My whole thing about Amazon, what I think is, about NVIDIA, I believe they're going to have a great earnings report, but they'll possibly guide lower. And if that's going to be the case, right now you're just kind of whoopsies, you're just kind of right now trying to figure out, base out, find its way here over the last 2 weeks, and it hasn't really broke 138 and it hasn't broke 128 to the downside. You're going to get a $10 move tomorrow, I promise you that. So we're going to wait to see which way this name goes. To me, I think it's going to be nearly impossible for them to guide properly. So I'm interested to hear where that guide comes from, what they're looking at here as China continue and U.S. continue to put curbs in place here. How many units can you actually ship over there? What units are available to ship? Everything like that. Are they able to get around it? We talked about Vietnam and some of the sort of sideways deals that there's involved with here with NVIDIA. But as long as the administration stays tight on the chip space, I think NVIDIA is pretty fully valued. And I'm not an analyst or anything like that. Just this recent move up from 90 to 135. Yeah. Let's see now what earnings are going to do. And I just think it's so well cooked right now that it may be hard to come up with a beat a guide forward. I do think they'll beat whatever numbers put out there, but I do worry about the guide.
Yeah, I think that's one to watch out for. But something else to watch out for is when you enter a buy or sell order and you get filled completely differently from what you expected. That's called slippage. Slippage happens when you're trading. Slippage can happen when you're trading on an old or an underpowered computer, and it costs traders a bundle. That's why our friends at Easy Trading Computers created the complete guide to trading computers. This guide shows you exactly what technology you need to succeed as a trader and avoid slippage. Go ahead and scan that QR code or click the link in the description box to get a free copy of this guide. Right. So NVIDIA getting back to there, nice little consolidation there near the highs there. So this market, what's interesting to me, you can see the Nasdaq and the ES both pretty much rocketing to the upside. You can see holding prior bar lows pretty well on both 30-minute and 15-minute charts there. But NVIDIA, a bit of a consolidation hold there at that 135.66. Now, we didn't quite break prior week's highs like we saw breaking on something like a Tesla or a few other names on the day today. That prior week high sitting at 137.40. So we're pretty much consolidating near its day highs as the market continues to to slowly churn up there, 21,500 potentially on the horizon. So yeah, a little bit of indecisiveness, it would seem, as we kind of chop sideways over the past few hours. But again, tomorrow is earnings, and I think that one to keep an eye on will definitely be NVIDIA, but I think Sean brings up a great point there, keeping an eye out for some of the other tech names as well, some of the other chip makers as well, like AMD, like an SMH, if you want to try the whole sector, like an ARM or an Intel even, to see if they're actually moving in sympathy or distinctly different with this ticker as well. So definitely one to watch out for, but consolidating sideways for the past couple hours here on NVIDIA.
What a rocket ship Tesla is, guys. Closing in on that 7%. You wouldn't have even known it if you opened the news blotter this morning, because their European sales are down 49% year over year, despite the fact that EV sales in Europe are up 34.5%. But it was this headline that the market really liked. Elon Musk confirming he is going to be focusing 100% and then some on his companies, even going and using that old adage that we talked about, Elon sleeping on the couch in the middle of the factory. That's what he wants you to think from now on, guys.
Yeah, look, I mean, as soon as I saw that tweet go out there a couple days ago, whenever it was, maybe it was yesterday, I was just like, all right, this Tesla has to be on watch. It's the #1 trade here today that we put on our sticky note. We talked about it. Sharif read it on the midday show. We said not great sales. We knew. It's funny because we come in with a bad report today about their total net sales there in Europe, and not great, right? But I said with Elon back at the office, we could see that early pop. I mean, that's exactly what we wound up seeing. It's going to be the #1 trade for me, and it's going to be an idea that both Obi and I had at the jump. Sorry, that's the TQs. Just getting some more out right here. I don't know. It's staying top heavy. I'm getting lighter and lighter. Right now, I have less than 10% of this TQQ trade. We will be entering some more. But there's Tesla. I mean, there's our 350. I was actually distracted, Obi, when it broke, and you had. I'm like, well, what's up with Tesla? Like, I'm already long. Yeah. So then it thankfully fell right back, and I just pushed bid enter, and I was able to get long at 350.40, which I feel like was a pretty good level. I mean, most of the time, I got to figure out whatever key Neil uses because I get more slippage than him. But what's up, Easy Trading Computers? But right there, 350 and change. That's the long that we had. Always trying to go, Sharif. Never turned off over here. Never turned off. But there it is right there. 350. Nice move to the high side. We were very nervous about that 354. That was the high before. So a lot of our outs are in around this 354. Then it really started to go, and we're still in a small piece here. We told you we're in less than 5%. Now we're half of that. We got one piece out there at 358. Just couldn't believe our eyes when we came back from the gym. And then now it's all the way up here. So we're not holding anything that's going to make a difference or not. But, you know, it's a nice trade there. It's a nice move to the upside, and just continue with that momentum. I'm trying to ride this 50-period moving average. It is breaking a little bit because we have such a small piece left. I'm going to try to hold on, maybe use the 200 period. But if you're still in this with me, congratulations on Tesla. You shouldn't still be in, though, because it feels like, I mean, I don't know, 360 is not good enough. Like, I feel like that $10 move right there, if you've still got something, it's probably a small enough piece. If you still have a huge piece, then I would say, again, just great trade. And I don't know, man, but all of my indicators right now, you know, we held this 50 period. We're now trying to get a little bit underneath it. So I would say watch out for this 364. But anyways, good trade there to start the day. And yeah, really started, you know, with a nice, good feels here. And especially when you and I both had it. Now, I know we were going to talk a little something different here, but I think there's lessons to be learned today.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think, again, kind of talk about this. I've talked about this before where I'm like, okay, well, and Pug Life in the chat as well, he was like, oh, why didn't you answer my question yet? Why am I shorting a stock that's breaking out and one of the strongest tickers on the day? Yeah, very valid question there. But again, I like to look for that reversion on those strong moves for a quick pullback. Again, profit taking, however you want to take a look at it. But yeah, sure, I really like the long, and I was long off of the open there, and we got that strong push. And again, yeah. Negative news in the morning session, but I think this is one of those instances where that news is beat by a little bit of technical action, and maybe other news as well. You have conflicting news as well with Elon coming back into, coming back into work, I guess, with his tweet there. And yeah, we get that gap up and that push, that continuation. We were looking at that 355 level for a bit of information there. And you can see that 355 was that prior week high there from, I think it was Thursday, from Tuesday right there. So 354.99. You can see how we pulled back and consolidated on that right here. So this is the point. This is the point at which I have to be like, all right, well, it gave me what I was looking for, a pull towards VWAP. Sure, we're not going to get all the way to VWAP because it is very strong on the day. If I'm looking for the counter trend, I have to be very, very nimble. I can't always just look for VWAP. If the bid steps in above VWAP, for example, above the opening range highs right there, I have to respect that. And that short trade is pretty much done in and around here. But again, like I said, I waited till 58s to really get out of that one there. But yeah, very, very strong on the day. On a technical breakout going back to a higher time frame here, we can take a quick look at what that entails. This is a 3-hour chart. You can see that double top right there. Strong push, gap up, continuation, gap give and go, whatever you want to call it. Where's the next high right there? I see that all the way from the 19th of February. That's sitting at 367.34. So maybe that is the next stop as of right now. But yeah, Tesla super strong on the day. Very, very aggressive. And you can see that later on in the day, we did get that market tailwind that helped us out as well for the Tesla move. So that's what I got on Tesla.
All right, guys, there is a look at IBIT, nicely up on the day, about 1 1/3. Bitcoin trading at about 110,000. Basically just kind of consolidated all day. This is really the only headline here I could find for Bitcoin or Bitcoin adjacent names. Trump Media, otherwise known as DJT, ticker looking to raise about $3 billion to buy cryptocurrency, looking to borrow a page, guys, from Strategy and Company. Shout out to...
Yeah, shout out to Michael Saylor and those guys, man. I mean, big time movements happening over on that side. Just real quick, we're going to get out of Tesla if it breaks 360. I'm getting out of half of the TQQs if we break 80s. So we're getting close to that right now. We rode up. I mean, the market's not on here as a indicator here, but I wanted to get out if we ever broke cleanly too the 50-period moving average. So I was sitting here while this was happening, and we had our stops a little lower, and right now we have our stop a little bit lower again at 80s, and it almost, look at that, it almost broke it. Like, sometimes we get lucky. I didn't even notice that. I'm going to have to offer right now. Just punch some out at 92s right there. But there's the TQ out. All right, so IBIT. This is the only, and again, whatever, man. Some days we'll have some losing trades. I'm fine with that. I meant to hit this. There's the flush down the toilet, man. I mean, when we first got in this, it was breaking basically down through 62 bucks. It went into 861.80. I did not take any off. So that's a big fail. Almost said another word there, but big fail right into there. Yeah, had something to do with ASS at the end of it. And then we just tried, and I was like, you know what? Okay, let's just see if this is a true break, because we had touched out to 110, and then we were breaking back down below 109, and I put in there and then got it out immediately. So just to let you guys know on this trade, I will be down roughly, I mean, it's about, so all my other trades is what it is, but we're down about 70% of what we made on Palantir, and we'll go over that in a minute. So it wasn't a huge amount of risk, but the thing is, I should have got out of it instead of averaging in right there. But the thing was, I wanted to give it back until this pre-market low. But the more and more I think about this, and I even said this when I was in this trade, it's like IBIT don't care about these lines. It doesn't care about the pre-market levels or anything like that, because Bitcoin's 24/7, right? So it's not like, oh my God, this was held in the pre-market, will it hold again? I mean, it really has nothing to do with anything. I'm gonna still try to watch out for VWAP in the 200 period, but I think that there's a little bit more work to be done in IBIT. Most of the trades that I've made the best money on have been breakouts with IBIT, just playing the momentum, not trying to like figure it out, right? So I just think, yeah, what's up, Joe? I just think that trade right there, breaking, this was the momentum. So I should have had, there is the pre-market. And again, I know I just said pre-market, but it's the same idea. It's this break right here down that maybe we should have had. You know, and then right now, because there's been levels developed and Bitcoin's now been trading for 7 hours today while this market's been open, now we can see some realistic levels that may be shortable, $63 up here. And then maybe, again, if we can break this level one more time, 62.30, then we can try to go back to lows of the day. But yeah, man, congratulations. Bitcoin 110 and change continues to rock everybody's world. Once we're done through this list, because Sharice not got to go, but he's waiting for us. I know. And thank you for that. But I'm going to run through some of the altcoins.
Okay.
Later on in the show, just to see how those are doing.
I'm done.
But any opinion there on Bitcoin?
I think that yeah, you're correct in that the shorter time frames, yeah, those indicators can be a lot of mess, a lot of noise as well. But yeah, when you're looking at something like Bitcoin that does trade 24 hours, I think it's a little better just to look at a higher time frame. I like the hourly charts, the daily charts, the weekly charts, especially the weekly charts on Bitcoin, just to give a picture of the bigger move there. And yeah, it has a lot of chop, and you can see that we've been trending up back above 100,000 as of the past couple of weeks. They're slowly grinding up and now pushing fresh highs, right? The highs over, I guess, over the weekend on Friday were 112 exact, and now we're trading at 110.72. But yeah, coming in off of the open IBIT right here, yeah, we gapped up off of that selling we got on Friday, but again, pretty much sideways here, so nothing too crazy. But bigger picture, I think, is where the move really exists on Bitcoin and things like this. So one to watch out for sure.
Spending money, man.
Might give you some intraday scalp opportunities that I can see right off of the bat. You can see that VWAP holds, maybe some reversions there as well, but a lot of chop nonetheless here on IBIT for the day.
All right, AMC having a fantastic day today, guys. 22%. Still having trouble with that $4 area. Be on the lookout for that. Check out the daily chart for a look at that $4 area. So here's where we're moving up. They announced new historic records for revenue and attendance during Memorial Day weekend. Fantastic look for them. Lilo and Stitch, is that it? Hey, okay, and Mission Impossible, some of the movies that were out. Sean, was it an expensive weekend?
I'm a member of the Cine Club there, so I have the
Okay.
I have the pass there where we get. What's up, Andre? We do have AMC ripping to the top side here, and no, I have where you pay a certain amount of money and you get like one ticket per month. Everything all right over there, Andre? Oh, I think the board is frozen, maybe, over there on that side. All right, anyways, as we continue to talk, you can clearly see that AMC has made a nice move to the high side there today. I think it did catch everybody off guard just a little bit. You can even keep that on there. I want to see if it shows what the short float is. So there it is right there, 14.5% for AMC. You can see what's happening right now. You know, it looks like it's trying to base out around $4. Look, I like this stock, up 21 and change. Seems like it caught everybody off guard. This is normally a name that we all look at. And, you know, in the past, if this was last year, a couple years ago, especially 2020, we would have been like, oh my gosh. What's up, Obi? We would have definitely looked at this name. There it is. We would have definitely looked at this name heading into the weekend. But again, I feel like we just were a little bit caught off guard there with some AMC. And yeah, nice move higher. Sometimes we always do say on the show, it's always nice to zoom out, right? And have a quick little look. So wow, what a good move there for AMC. It's been sleeping for a minute, just going south side, right? Remember, these shares have been diluted so much. If we look at a better chart of this, you'll see just how much this stock splits and all this kind of stuff. But we're right back to a level that we haven't seen since, I mean, really since October. We've been higher, but there's the level there. We bounced into $5. I'd say there's a chance we can get back up here. All right, let's see what some of those numbers look like. There is a 14% short float, but this is not a get-rich-quick anything anymore on AMC, I do not believe. We have a stock like IMNN, a stock that we traded last week, that's really ripping up. And then even GameStop. I think GameStop, with all their talk on Bitcoin and things like that, and what exactly has been put into their on their balance sheet, that's going to be really exciting. GameStop, not just a weekend story, it's been happening for a minute. This stock was down to $22 back in the beginning of April. Right now, you're up to $34, $35. So if you zoom out, it's the same kind of ways. You've now broken through. I like both of these names, but I actually think AMC here, especially if we can hold this 200 period, which is back at 360, 370 or so, if you hold that level, that's not a bad area to get started with. So I think that if you go long now, you have that as your potential out area right there. So I think it's well worth it to see if you can touch into $5. Congratulations for AMC. I don't know if anybody else saw anything, but I saw Lilo and Stitch. Not bad, right? My 10-year-old and 13-year-old both liked it. I thought it was okay. But yeah, there's better movies. Mission Impossible, I'm not sure how that was reviewed or anything like that, but that's going to be a big name for a while. But the movies don't stay in the theaters for very long.
Really?
So I feel like I just saw something and then it almost was out. Oh, it was Minecraft.
Oh, yeah?
I feel like Minecraft is now paid streaming. You could stream it on one of the services now as well. So
What's going on?
How many missions can be impossible until they are eventually possible?
I
How
mean,
many fasts have to be furious
honestly, it's.
before they get too furious or too fast?
I mean, it's not that hot of a take, Joe. I mean, I appreciate you coming on here. I mean, I like Joe coming on all of the time, but it's like all of that stuff, like, and, whatever. What does Buzz Lightyear say?
To infinity and
Beyond. So what's really beyond that? I mean, if
The great beyond.
the great beyond as we continue to go forward. So, I don't know. I think he's right, though. When is the mission going to become impossible? That's his last one, isn't it? Isn't that the last?
I honestly have no idea.
I don't know. Joe, you might be answering your own question. It might be over. I haven't seen the end of that.
That might be the paradox.
Was the mission completed? I'm not trying to spoil this.
Maybe there's a
Joe-
bigger picture perpetual mission that's going on that is impossible, but we just don't hear about it because it's impossible.
Anyways, I think Mission Impossible. I haven't seen them in a minute, but that was probably the one that was sparking most of this excitement.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Right, so,
what do you think about GME or AMC?
AMC, again, very strong. But what was interesting, Sean, was that last week, both AMC and GME kind of came up on my scans multiple times just for this push up that we were getting, like breaking these weekly highs, breaking monthly highs as well, and we're getting that follow through coming in with volume on the day today. So interesting stuff there. So maybe people already positioning in anticipation for a potential strong Memorial Day weekend for these theater stocks here, or maybe meme stocks. But yeah, very strong move there. You can see just prior highs there. I think it was at 370. Let's go up to a higher time frame here on the hourly. Look at this double top right here, 375-ish. And some change. We can get really specific and see what that actually is right there. So these highs coming in around 370s, right? 377 high right there. So look at the break of that 370 that comes in right off of the open, or right off of the opening session breakout there. That 60 high breakout, 70s comes in, pulls back a little bit, consolidates, and then pushes straight to $4. So absolutely clean breakout trade on something that we already saw winding up last week. So AMC very, very strong on the day today. I did not have it, but again, one to keep an eye out for, and one definitely that gave you a strong opportunity if you already have had eyes on and were watching for anything crazy to happen.
All right, guys, last on the list here is SMCI up 6.5%. No specific catalyst for SMCI, but one has to assume it's moving up nicely in tandem with NVIDIA after we got that China-specific headline. Again, NVIDIA making yet a third China-specific AI GPU, looking to export that. It's going to be about $6,500 to $8,000. Good look here, guys, for SMCI.
Oh, thanks, Sharif. Yeah, look, SMCI get another look today. We have Dell reporting later on this week as well. So I think that, there's going to be, not that SMCI and Dell are tied at the hips or anything like that, but there's going to be some more news coming about server-side information. If Dell likes what their story is, maybe SMCI continues to carry the way as well. So, yeah, look, I mean, they're a big piece of the pie, right? I mean, they did have some of their accounting issues we talked about. I think was it Deloitte and Touche or something stepped away from SMCI while they got it all figured out. This thing tanked, right? I mean, this is back November. This was an $18 name. So what a move. Up to 64 again, all the way back in, and now trying to break higher. I like SMCI here. I think it has to start. I need to put this on my radar. I'm going to add it to one of my lists here to make sure that we continue to watch it, because there's the hold. It looks very much like Tesla, except for it's only a $40 name. Like, there's the hold early, there's the move down, bounced around, held VWAP that last. I'm going to starting to give things like 10 or 15 minutes before we actually level into these. And then there it goes, right? We haven't really tested VWAP since at all. I think SMCI is a win. It's just another name. Should be, I don't know if it should be in your portfolio or not, but again, a nice aggressive name, up another 6.5%. You got to like SMCI right here, right now. up 6%. Chart looks pretty healthy. We just held $40 as a bottom. I say you're long until it breaks 40 downside. But what do I know?
Yeah, again, SMCI, another one that's going to be on watch with Nvidia earnings coming in tomorrow. But aggressive push there on the day today. I was again one of the names I had on watch because when I look at my tech basket, SMCI is definitely part of it, as it has been a strong momentum ticker when it comes to one of the tickers in the tech sector there. But yeah, coming in very strong off of some pre-market levels in the morning. You can see that nice little pullback that we get after the first half hour holds that pre-market high right there. So beautiful confluence there for the continuation, for the push back up. You can see that VWAP hold as well coming in as a bit of confluence there. But as of right now, 43.09 double top on SMCI. Has there been resistance here before? If you just look at the prior weeks, you can see that we've already been kind of stepping down off of some of these highs. 47.80, a little bit of some topping action there, a bit of a push and a failure to follow through happening there on Friday, May the 16th, and we've been selling off aggressively since then. First day that we really actually get a bit of a bid and that gap up above a prior day. You can see that strength again here on, let's say, like a daily chart. You can see some strong selling right there. Boom, 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 boom. First day that we actually gap up and push. So prior day high break as well. If you're looking at the past few, past 7 days or so, 7 trading days. Initial first prior bar high break and that continuation coming in very strong. But that 43 is going to be interesting, Sean, going into the rest of the week. Do we finally catch that bid?
Randy,
Again,
we're literally keeping you employed over here.
Bit of a step up on the bids here as well. Sure, lower highs kind of countering that. But let's see if sentiment has changed. Bigger picture, we've sold off of these aggressive highs there all the way from 2024, 122.90. Where those
we're burning these desks anyways.
What's going on? What's going on?
Please show. Do you have Sheree? They can't see that mark on Sheree.
What's happening?
They can see it. They can see it because they can see
Oh,
this
that
view.
mark. Yeah. Is that from,
You're
is that
taking a
from
picture. What are you
banging
doing?
the desk, Sharif?
Andre, we need you over there.
Yeah, it's definitely. I just reverted Amazon one too
There it
many
is.
times.
There.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know, a little disrespect to your craftsmanship.
What's going on? Come on.
Anyways,
Sorry, Randy.
Randy has to make, we're getting everything set up for Studio 8. If we have a Studio 8 promo, we can run that again as well, as we got some measuring happening on right now and starting to measure out some desks. My guess is that we are, he's trying to run it, but instead we're running those things. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we are going to be up.
We're gonna have those new Love seats, the Love airline seats, the stand only.
Here we go. What was that? That was a new one. What was that? Trade ideas just came up there. What
happened?
No, without Neil here, nobody has any idea what's going on. Well, let's. All right, whatever. We'll run that whenever you want, Andre. Please do not stress out about it. Again, there. So that promo not working right away. Let's find out to see what else is working. Oh, what I wanted to get over here was, even though Adair's not here, it looks like we're still getting some posts up right now. This is from May 23rd. This is for this week. So we have some good earnings coming through this week. Like tonight is Okta. That's security. So that's personal security, data sensitive, like all your personal information, whatnot, working on that. Box is there as well. Tomorrow in the pre-mint market, it's going to be interesting because we'll see what Dick's Sporting Goods has to say about their recent acquisition of Foot Locker. So we'll see how that's going to happen. They got hit 11% on that acquisition. Abercrombie, Capri, and Macy's. So a bunch of retail tomorrow, like sort of all the secondary retail. Yep. We already know that Walmart and Target have already hit the floor. They're targeted especially. And then big time tomorrow night, man. There's something called NVIDIA, whatever. I'm not sure. I'll look at what that company is. But we have Salesforce tomorrow night to go with C3 AI, the one AI company that nobody has any idea what they're doing. Elf as well, Elf Cosmetics. That's been hit pretty good, but a nice little rebound there in Elf as we worry about China. A lot of their products obviously made over there in China. Agilent Technology, Sentinel One, you referenced that earlier. Yep. Symbol is S. And then HP. So the thing is that we do have part of that SMCI rally, again, with Hewlett-Packard coming tomorrow as well. We saw HPE last week. You know, SMCI is getting a lot of love just from some of that forward move as well. CoreWeave, because HPE had a nice blast off. Someone, I think it was their earnings, and maybe someone took a position in Hewlett-Packard. I'm not sure. Like, what the hell is going on with CoreWeave again? Up 17% right now, trying to go through 121 right now. Watch out for that. I think this is I just heard the word World War III in my ear. So I don't know if somebody's, I don't like, that's not good. The market's not really doing anything right now, but I'm going to pause whenever that happens, but I think it was in oh, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, so this is what's helping right now. This is why I'm telling Randy to relax. Everything's going to melt anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, oh, there's Randy. Randy, watch your back. Watch your back. Don't need you to get hurt over there. Hey, Randy. For sale at the Trader TV Live yard sale. About 70 monitors and a few of those arms. These actually are pretty good, man. The
arms
the 4,
are pretty solid,
yeah. What are they? The pillar there that holds 4 or 5 monitors, 6 monitors. Those are expensive, and they're actually pretty high quality ones as we figure out how to maneuver around there. But yeah, you're going to see everything taken out behind us as we work on a brand new studio for everybody. Yeah, what's happening now? All right, so we just got stopped out. So we just got stopped out of half of our TQs. We're almost out of them all now. And then Tesla's supposed to, so this is supposed to hit breaking the 200, which is 360. So that's about to hit right now. Oh, I got it. So it's okay. So Trump is saying that Putin is playing with fire right now. And so there is some talk happening. We do have Satya at the desk, so please, Satya, try to confirm any of this because it's all in my ear right now, and I'm not sure exactly what's going on. But there it is. Watch out for a down push. I think that's about right. Until we get confirmation, man, I'm just going to step out of all of this. So I'm offering 79 right now. We do not get filled, but I might just wind up punching out. Let's just aggressively punch out. There it is. So I just punched out at 77 there on the futures. We're going to get flat on that. We'll let this go once it goes. But for right now, I'm just going to hold off on that. I don't like some of that talk. But like I said, we obviously we have Satya there. It's a very tough job to go through all the news, right? So she's going to parse through that, get that story for us because it's definitely affecting the market and moving lower. So once we get that, we'll come back to you with it. All right, so just to see what else is heading southbound right now. NVIDIA, can we break that shelf right there, VWAP? I mean, this is something that's going to be interesting to me. A VWAP break right now on NVIDIA. There's probably better names, Obi. I don't know if there's something you're looking at, but VWAP right now is coinciding with this 135 level that we had already bounced off of. So I like when levels sort of have confluence with other areas. And so right there, this VWAP is talking to this support level. So if we break it, I do like that low, that take, right? So let's see if we can get a little bit lower there. If we break this level, 134.85, which would be this right there, then we'll go short and then use VWAP as our out. So we'll try to give it like 20 cents. I know that's not that much room, but let's see for a break right there of NVIDIA, 134.85. That might not be the right stock. Let me look for some other ones because do we really want to short a name that's up 3% that reports tomorrow? Oh, Randy's saying yes on that one. So IMNN, we had this last week and it was a huge runner for us. I think we had it about breaking $1 and right there, this is something about, it was phase 2 cancer treatments, I believe. So we champion this. We love these kind of names. Oh, yeah, there's the move. So it must have been Friday. So, yeah. There's the move breaking $1. It goes up to $1.60. Now, right now, you're taking out levels on IMNN. Immune, if I remember the name, it's Immune something, Oncology. Immunon. So there it is, man. Nicely breaking higher right now. The last time we were up here, we faded back out. So, again, this is something risky. I don't really want to use these levels as anything key because there's new developments here, right? I mean, if they've sort of got something, I don't know. I don't want to speak exactly about their science, but it looks like now up 87%. And I remember it was a phase 2 last week. So IMNN continuing to rip faces off right now. Nice little 50,000 shares right there. That's not going to matter as we get higher. This has already done 64 million. So watch out now, breaking through 220 IMNN right now.
Yeah, that reminds me of that quote. Who are you who are so wise in the ways of science?
Right. RFK.
Close enough. Monty Python. Yeah, Holy Grail. There you go. Joe's got it right there. Tesla finally coming in with a little bit of selling right here. So we kind of broke a bit of trend there. You can see that aggressive kind of bid. Fresh highs. initial push, and that comes in with the market taking a little bit of a breather as well going into the last hour and a half of the trading day. So yeah, I'm just looking around. I'm like, okay, well, are the TQs pulling back? Is Tesla also pulling back alongside with some of the other tickers here alongside the market? Again, we could not quite get to that 21,500 just yet, but we're pulling back just a little bit as of right now here on both Tesla. So I know you guys can't see any of my positioning, and that's perfectly fine. Again, I want to mention that I am trading in the demo currently, but trying to make the same kind of decisions, the same kind of rule sets right there. Again, we talk about putting in the reps, and how else do you want to practice other than if you're practicing for the game, right? And I'm sure you can speak on that. Being a coach yourself, like when you practice, are you going 50%, 70%, or are you going 100%? Or like what's the best way to do that when you're putting in reps?
Yeah, I mean, I think
just for anything. It doesn't have to be for trading, but like,
Yeah,
Coach,
I always
this is a question for Coach Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell the kids, practice how you play. So to your point is that if you're going to put in the work, you might as well put it in as if it actually means something, right? And so I do think that if you do get shut down or you just want to try some trades, nothing wrong with going into a simulator, and then making sure. Like, I haven't been in a simulator decades, but the idea behind it would be once you make the step through, like, sort of the parallel universe into live, it is tough to go back. Yeah, I find. So I think you're also dealing with a mental, going back and forth with your own head, because it's like sometimes you let things ride a little bit more when you're in sim mode because you're like, it's not real. I'm just going to let this thing play out. But I do think that what you're saying is accurate. Stay in the same state of mind. And if you can act like it's a live account, then, I mean, all for it and all to you, right? I mean, we talk about it here all the time, and Sharif goes like, I'm not using the same shares as me or anything like that. I mean, really, you'll sometimes put a big position, but nobody really puts on that kind of a position, but it's all because of whatever you're comfortable with. We said this before, even if you had 50 shares of Tesla today, let's just say, right? And that went up $10.
Yeah.
50 is a lot for some people and average for some others, right? So it's not
about. I wish I had 50. I had a little bit more than 50.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying if you have a position like 50 shares or something, it still goes $10.
Yeah.
So the idea is that if you stick with your plan, that's a $500 trade. Now you probably get some out on the way up, but the idea is that 50 shares turns into 75, turns into 100, 300, 400, 500. And that's that. Yeah. And some traders aren't comfortable and they'll trade 5, 10, 15 shares until they get that level, and then you go higher up. So yeah, man, simulation mode definitely supporting that. All right, let's try to find some more trades. I'm still looking at this IMNN. I'd like to see a pullback into 190 if we can get something like that. I mean, there's a pullback into the 50. There's and just straight up. So if I was debating taking out that 220 there in that high, but it faded right back out again. So I don't know. It's trying to figure itself out. Feels like it could come back in just a little bit there. So we'll wait. The market is figuring itself out a little bit. I mean, I'd rather short it a little lower than where we are here on the TQs. Sorry. Even like a break through 70 might be something. Like VWAP is all the way back at 70. So I feel like we've done real well, man. My number one stock today is actually the TQQs, not Tesla, P&L wise. It's pretty close, but it's the TQQs. So even though and that goes to the point of, despite having a $10+ winner on board, I still make more money on this name where we only really max out $1. It's because we held a little bit more and we're able to get the most out there near 71. So it turned out to be a pretty decent trade on that end. I did want to see so I just have here's Roblox flashing on an alert right now. I'm not trying to we're having a good day. Maybe the best day of the month P&L wise for me so far, which is, it's okay. It's been a little bit of a slow month before putting on risk, but there goes Roblox. Look at this name. I mean, I keep spending money every month on Roblox, but I guess other people are as well. This is quite the move up from those tariff lows. $52 to $85. This name just continues to work and continue to go higher. So I don't know what was showing up on this, a 5 period, I guess the 50-minute moving average here on a 5-minute chart, but I don't know, $85 not doing too much. So what a good break that might be at 85.50 for Roblox if it does take that out right now. Broadcom, there's our SOX L a little bit. We can have a quick look over there as well. If there's any trade ideas that you want either Sharif, what's up Sharif, he's not here, either Obi or myself to look at, we'll be more than happy to do that. So everything's just at the top. Unless you're feeling fade right now, I don't know. I'm not really feeling that. I do feel like I need to, we got to go to Obi in 1 second. I do feel like I need to figure out this Palantir because I'm still not sure why this is a short right here on PLTR. All right, Obi, what's up?
Yeah, are you looking for unbeatable odds on the biggest games? Switch to ProfitX's peer-to-peer platform where you set the price. No more one-size-fits-all lines. It's like crafting your own picking strategy with real-time trading tools. Secure the best odds, track the action, and watch your plays come alive. Experience total control at every step. ProfitX, sports playing reimagined. Users can use code TraderTV to get our sign-up offer of 2% cash back up to $300.
Yeah, good look there. We like ProfitX. Neil and I, the best odds, basically, period. So, yeah, you have any thoughts about Palantir here? I mean, we're underneath the 200 period. We're starting to get a little lower. We were wondering if there was any stories on this, but I don't know. We're unable to find too much here on Palantir. So
yeah, you'd mentioned it earlier, and we were all asking like, why is it really selling off? No real news here, but again, whenever there's no news, I'm usually just going to go check the chart. Maybe it's technical, maybe it's maybe it's more of the same of what we've been seeing, and kind of looking back at the chart, it seems like that is what's kind of been happening here. You can see again, what's the story being told post earnings here on Palantir? Strong selling off of earnings. You can see that selling kind of comes in at that 130 mark. Hey, yo, guess what? There might be some supply when a level gets pinged in a moment of illiquidity, when that volume comes in the after hours for that earnings report and then pings that 130, sellers step right back in and then flush it down for that continuation on day one of the earnings. But you can see kind of it's trying to push back above that 130, but again, every time it's tried, it's consolidated, a little bit of supply in that zone. Guess what? Today we gap up back into this area from earlier. After stepping down from it, and we're seeing more of the same. So we consolidated here. I guess you can call that consolidation low 127s. If you want to look at the extreme 125.77, that low right there, and then we kind of stair step down. We fail to follow through that high. We step down, consolidate, step down. But here is interesting. We step back up on the gap up with the rest of the market, but maybe that's mispriced, and that selling kind of comes back in. Again, I don't know why it's selling, but again, looking at the chart, I'm just looking at what the past information has been on the chart for the past couple of weeks, and what it's showing me is that we're kind of building into this 130 area that seems to be a little bit of a supply zone in the short-term time frame, and that is confirmed with that earnings reaction candle right there as well at that 130 on Palantir. So that's what I see on Palantir. No idea what it's going to do, but it seems like a lot of chop and consolidation sideways, it would seem.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you because you're doing great work there, but people were saying that there was some insider selling news this morning on Palantir. So that's
been selling for the past couple of weeks at 130. So.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, your work there at 130 was great. I actually took some out near 130. It was just more about, like what we were talking about, today's dramatic move. So I'm actually, based on that news right now, I just put some offers at 122.90. Just to like, I want to watch this 200 period moving average, right? It's actually been pretty good there today. We haven't retested it though, so now it's pointing sharply downside right there, and we just sort of I just put an offer at 89, which is right here, 90s basically. I don't want to get too early on this play, but I am obviously willing to be in there. All right, D-Loaf, here we go. I don't have a congratulations button.
Congratulations.
Can you congratulate my fiance? Well, first of all, congratulations, Daniela. You've got yourself a great, fine gentleman in D-Loaf. I mean, anybody that watches this show. Or I like to say, sorry about that, Daniela, that you're now engaged to D-Loaf. I mean, it can go either way. But we are really happy for the trading aspect here. She took her first profit on swings today, 30%. Oh my gosh, your fiance, Daniela, should meet my wife, Marisa, because she told me to trade Alpha as well. So right there, plus on Elf and Tesla. Oh, okay, there we go. D-Loaf, off my levels. He's saying, no, they're her levels, D-Loaf. Make sure that you always get that corrected, okay? Those are her levels. And I executed for her. She's a novice paper hander. Yeah, man, that was the one thing. The best joke, and again, congratulations there, Danielle. And congratulations to two of you as well. All the successes in your future endeavors, that's for sure. But who remembers Tony the Tiger?
Oh, yeah.
Put up your hand if you remember Tony the Tiger, right there. He was fantastic, and he had that one story. What's up, Joe?
He was great.
He was average. No, he was a great trader. No, he didn't trade that much actually for us. But anyways, Tony was fantastic, and he had one of the best stories. He was going on, and I thought it was like going to be like a real story there about how he went to the doctors and everything like that, and blah blah blah. And he was diagnosed, and then I was like, oh God, here we go. This is going to turn real deep, real fast. He's like, and I was diagnosed with paper hands. And so it was like a great story, and I can't do it justice, so I'm not even going to try it. But that was fantastic. And then the man, thank you for bringing this up, Tia over here. Wow, the credit card debt. This guy was talking about buying. I don't remember the stock. It might have been Carvana. This could be one of the richest men all of us know at this point. But he was like, yeah. So I rolled over my credit card this month, and I bought more of this stock and did more of that. And I'm just sitting here listening to him, just like, oh man, Tony, come on, my guy, right there. But I hope it did work out for him. He did move back. He's actually American, so he was up here. Visiting some family, or was for school at the time, and then that was over with, and he was here for maybe 6 months, 8 months or so, and then head back south there. So we say, I hope you're all well. I believe he was from the great state of Georgia. Okay. So shout out.
Seeing him he was here when I first joined.
Yeah.
And he left soon after, I'd say.
Okay, yeah. He had a couple different. He was just kind of like a co-op guy. He was working. Okay. Some of the stuff like Mateo's doing. He was doing some of that stuff, and then we had him here on the floor, and he was such a great character. I'm just like, yo, this guy's coming on the show with us. And then it was absolutely. We called him like Tequila Tony. Oh, there's a great.
Tony.
Oh,
I want to hear the story behind that.
Tequila Tony?
Tequila Tony. What's
the guy used to get crunk all the time. Oh. So hold on. There's and he worked as a bartender, but a server at the Rogers Center where the Jays play.
Ooh, okay.
So there's either I'm gonna go find it on my Twitter.
I went to my first game.
Went to your first Blue Jays game?
Yeah.
Your first game?
My first sporting event. Go Sports.
No, stop it.
I went to the Jays game.
Hold on.
Last week.
No, I'm unpacking this.
With the boys. Greg was there, Max was there, Wayne was there, Ian was there,
great time.
Adam was there.
Was Patty Ice there?
No, he was he there?
Sorry about that, Patrick. I hope he's not now. I really hope he wasn't, because he obviously didn't have too much of an influence on you.
I would have remembered. I was like, wait, no, you confused me for a second. No, okay, so
hold on a second, I can look up
so no, anyways, so it was a great experience. I would say
nice.
It was a lot of fun. We kind of like walked around. We just got like general admission tickets to walk around. I think it was fun. There was like 11 of us, so I was like,
was it fun or not fun? Like, you think it was fun? It was fun?
No, it was. It was definitely a lot of fun.
Got you.
Was it 14-0? We walked out in the last.
Oh, you went to that game where we lost 14-0.
No, we won 14.
Oh, we won 14-0.
We won 14-something.
Oh, we just lost in Tampa 13-0. Right? Okay.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
I'm never gonna find this, Tony. I don't know how to search my own Twitter feed, so I'm pretty completely. Okay, so I just have to unpack something here because I need to. All right, so Toronto has every single major sporting franchise. We have NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, MLS soccer, lacrosse. The tennis is here. There's also F1 is in Montreal. There's so. Golf, I don't expect you to watch golf. All of these sporting events are happening in Toronto.
Really?
All of the time. This was your first sporting event.
Yes.
Will you go back to another Blue Jays game?
Of course.
So you did have a good time.
Fun. Yeah. I think I had a lot more fun kind of being in the environment, kind of talking to people, and then watching the game at the same time as well.
Yeah.
Kind of asking a lot of questions about like how
That's the good thing about baseball is you don't actually need to pay attention. Right? I mean, it's a social game. It's and I love baseball right here. Man, what is going on right here with my man? I was just looking here. Here's my feed right here. This is here. I got to go to High Park. So this is the Little League that I coach in right here. It's been raining for a bit. I'm not the proudest to say this. So the team that I drafted is the Jets from last year. They're going to be moving up. So this is the minors division. This is the majors division. We are the Red Sox right down here. So we're 1-4. We got to pick it up. High Park and the Red Sox. We were practicing last night. You know, we're practicing bunting.
Ooh,
Bunting. What is that?
That sounds like a bad word.
Yeah, it's not. It's fine. It's when they just do little hits. I'm not going to explain it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just it's you're not trying to hit the ball hard. You're just trying to hit it basically between the pitcher and the catcher, kind of in that no man's land, to create a little bit of confusion and things like that.
All right.
All right, better we get back to some stock talk right into here right now. All right, so we have Okta coming, OKTA tonight. Again, this has been a Cramer fave. I mean, I know Joe would know this if he listens to Jim Cramer, Okta. And it's had, again, a pretty huge run, right? They're really beat up from the top, though. But Okta, wow, I guess a really nice run. They're going to be reporting later on tonight. Chance to beat, obviously, with AI all over the place right now. Okta is going to be a good little name today to look at. That'll be tonight. We'll have Brian Shannon on with myself, and I, and Brian tonight on the recap show. So that should be fun with Okta coming through and reporting. Bitcoin 109.8 right now. Nothing's really popping off on any of my scanners. We did get out of Tesla, which broke lower, and happy to do that. We brought that story, and again, Satya, I guess, is looking for everything here, but, you know, we did have that talk there. Here it is right here. You know what? Satya is maybe doing something. I'll drop the story. Okay, so it's right here, about 10 or 15 minutes ago. This is it right here. So Deputy Chair of the Security Council of the Russian Federation, Dmitry Medvedev, posts on X regarding Trump's words about Putin playing with fire and really bad things happening to Russia. I only know one really bad thing, and that's World War III. I hope Trump understands this. So this is the Security Council of the Russian Federation not liking what Trump is saying and talking about playing with fire. So obviously that's not a very good response there for us in the market. So that's why we emptied out the clip. We emptied it out on the TQs. We emptied it out on Tesla. And I had that play on NVIDIA thinking about lining that thing up, and it doesn't look like that came through yet. It had to break through VWAP. So maybe it's Tesla. Maybe it's just the market downside. We should probably short the market now that we're underneath. We're waiting for Palantir. That doesn't, well, that could come up still at some point as well. But there's the 200 period on the TQs. Maybe we decide to go short at some point now on the TQQs, right? Breaking below. We could try this little level right into here. If it breaks lower than that, $70.60. But I'm pretty comfortable trying this right here. $70.71. We'll see if we break above the 50 period, which is only 70.80. I'm going to start a short right now in the TQQs. We'll wait at 67 if we get it. Great. There it is. We get some 67s. So now we're net short on the market here. I don't like that headline, but at the same time, the market's not crashing. So let's use this 50 period moving average. It's starting to turn lower right now. $70.85 is my stop. We'll see if we can average in to 70.75. Okay, so we're short the market right now. It's a new position alert for me. We'll wait for Palantir, but we are now short the Nasdaq. So let's wait to see where we go right now. I'm looking for lower. If we can get a retracement back to VWAP, that would be pretty impressive. That'd be lower than where we had bought it, but let's see what winds up happening. The Nasdaq heading lower right now. Let's just join the trend, be trend traders. You know, we broke out a couple names earlier today. We're going to be on this one right now and see where it goes. Short the market, I say.
Yeah, I think I definitely like that idea, Sean. And again, we talk about taking reps. I shorted both Tesla and TQs at about 130 Tesla, and I guess 230 ish on Tesla and the TQs there. So it's coming in pretty nicely. And I'm just sitting here being like, oh boy, don't tell me that Tesla's going to get to VWAP now, and it might. I think again, we get that aggressive bid all day. We're getting some market tailwind on that aggressive bid. Now the market's turning as well. That bid, that trend has been broken as well, and sellers are starting to come in. We're seeing the confirmation coming in on multiple different, I guess, constituents there as well. And that Tesla, yeah, that kind of coming in at that, I think what's the day high currently is at 363.78. So a little bit of a pullback. VWAP all the way down at 356.40. So yeah, still a bit of a ways to go there, but we're trading back below that 360 mark, Sean. So let's see if that 360 holds. Initially in the morning, we were looking for the hold of 355s, and guess what? 355s held. We stepped higher. Let's see, bigger picture. Do we pull back and step higher than 355s? Maybe looking for that continuation going forward during the week there. But that 355 definitely going to be a little interesting this week. Wow, Apple coming into its day's highs right here as we speak. 255 is currently trading at on Apple. Let's take a quick look at that one right here. So strength coming into Apple, going into the last, I guess, 45, 50 minutes of the day. It's 306 as of right now. But other names that are not necessarily turning as much, again, Apple being one of them, being distinctly different. But NVIDIA, you look at NVIDIA, still sideways chop here on NVIDIA as both futures take a little bit of a pullback, nothing too crazy there. But yeah, Tesla, I see Tesla's really the only one that's taking a distinct pullback here, other than some Amazon as well. You can see Amazon, nice little pullback down in towards its VWAP. Tesla hasn't quite got there just yet. Tesla pretty extended off of its VWAP on the day for good reason. Again, we talk about why in the morning session. But yeah, Tesla taking a bit of a pullback. I'm looking for where the next trade is. What can I make some decisions on? Potentially, oh boy, this 15-minute chart on Tesla looks absolutely beautiful here. Let's go back to Tesla and look at that 15-minute chart and take a look at how clean this selling does come in when it does come in. You can see a little bit of a chop here. I was involved in the short there. Short's definitely wrong over here. You can maybe potentially get involved here. Again, very strong on the day. So that push past that 359 into 60s. Definitely don't want to stick around on the short there. But look at this. When the selling does come in, back-to-back red candles, you can see that it's coming in that last hour and a half of the day. Nice little reversion of that midday session push on Tesla. I don't know if it's going to get all the way down to 356.45. That's where VWAP is currently sitting here on this chart. But let's see if buyers step up. That's kind of what I'm looking for. We looked at buyers stepping up here, buyers stepping up on top of prior week high at 355s. Let's see if we can hold this prior structure, 357s and some change, or just a relatively higher low base off of this base, which is sitting at 354 and some change. So looking for that trend continuation, keeping it very simple, just higher highs and higher lows to define that trend. Looking for it to potentially come in here on Tesla. Yeah, other than that, wasn't really necessarily looking at too much today. I know I like to go through my my morning watch list here, so we can kind of go through that and take a look at what some of these tickers were doing. Again, I went through this list in the morning. So I had Softy, Google, AMD, MSTR. Oh, I didn't see that. CRM apparently I had as well. I had X, of course, NNE, and Tesla. And for earnings names, I had 3 earnings names on watch: Intuit, Workday, and PDD. So Tesla was the only one out of those that I really got involved in. But again, MSFT, I was looking for a bit of a continued selling. Again, more of the same that we saw last week, but that did not come in. Microsoft coming back into prior week highs there, going into the end of the day. So a nice little grind up all day. After a wick off of the morning session, that was pretty nasty there. I don't know if you remember, Sean, but Softy right off of the open, I was like, oh boy, that's a nasty wick there on the first 15-minute candle. And it took all day just to grind all the way back off of that action there. So yeah, pretty wild action there on that one. And I think PDD was the other one. Morning report there in the pre-market with their earnings report wasn't really taken too well by the market, and you can see nice little reversion after a very strong sell-off in the pre-market session. Let's take a quick measure as to how strong that was. 21.6 almost from the undisturbed price off of that earnings report right there. So a nice little 20% flush, get that reversion off of the open. Now we're consolidating on top of VWAP. But other than that, I didn't really have anything else to kind of watch. Anu saying in the chat, CRWV, yeah, we know CoreWeave has been on radar for a lot of people. Oh, wow, look at that. Beautiful action there, showing that strength, showing that continuation. We talked about that prior high being at that 120 mark. Guess what, Sean? That 120 did come in. We pulled back to 116s. Oh boy. If you're taking the 120 break, you're probably not holding to 116 halves. But again, VWAP is the place to be here, it seems, on CoreWeave as those buyers seemingly stepping up back-to-back days on that ticker. Let's see what else. Let's see, Pug Life saying call sweeps on Tesla has died off. Time to push PLTR up. Yeah,
I mean, we've got Palantir shorts.
yeah. I gotta watch some of these strike levels here. That's what Pug Life was talking about, saying how some of those levels on Tesla, maybe some market makers were offside as well. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, so right now, let's hit alert. We're an amazing 10 cents in the money, but we did average into Palantir. We did talk about this as a level that we liked here on Palantir into the 200 period moving average. So I don't, we sort of got, I don't want to say we got bored of, we didn't get bored of anything, but the market sort of put us a little sleepy time there. So right now we are going to wait to see if there's anything coming now from, hold on a second, I got to make sure I'm canceling all my right orders over here, on Palantir. I don't want to get more short. So my stop in this one's going to be a breakthrough 20s. So, I mean, that's 40s, 50s, it's much higher. Now the 200 period is right here. So we're actually playing with fire right now as this has come all the way back in. So we'll take a little bit of a short above. Here it comes in. Yeah, let's go. All right, there's a little bit of a chicken dinner winner. Baked turkey dinner winner right now to the downside. So there it is. We'll take, I mean, look, man, we're short 96. We just took 81. So we'll take 15 cents right there on 15%. 15 cents on 15%. Let's see if we get lower. Next take, I thought I put a 70s. I put a 69 right there. That must be where that marker is, and that is correct. So we're right there at the 50 period moving average. So again, just trying to do what we do best here. Watch out for stock. Watch to make sure what levels are printing and then hit them, right?
Yes.
Oh, 23andMe delisting. So we kind of knew about that already. Here comes the TQs again. So my bid right now, I don't have a bid on this. So let's just, where is that little wick bottom? That's only 61s. We're short at 67, not good enough. All right, let's go to 55. We'll put out 10% there at 55 if we can get it. And we'll continue to hopefully watch some of this market come back in. So for me, man, it's two positions right now. So hit the sirens. We've got the TQ short, and then we've got a good one I'm hoping for right now with Palantir, hoping to get that a little bit lower. But we just bounced off of 80 there. So that's going to be a temporary look. Tesla, we did get out breaking through 360. So that was a good one, man. That was, whoopsies, that was $10 on our last piece and our best out. It does go higher, but we didn't have enough on board right there. So, all right, so far so good. Let's get to the downside on Palantir and on the futures. And let's go see what Miss Atea is up to at the desk.
So a lawsuit has been filed by the National Public Radio against Trump today after Trump attempts to cut funding for media outlets. This feature has rolled out today. The National Public Radio argues cutting funding violates the U.S. Constitution, specifically the First Amendment protection of expression. Back to you.
Thank you for that. Here's Tony. Ramin, thank you so much, Ramin. There was one of me and him at the Blue Jays game, which was pretty classic at the time. But here it is right here. Here's Tony. This is what Tony looked. So I don't know, is this me? Oh yeah, here's me mentioning something. We don't have audio, but there's Tony. Maybe can we get audio on this somehow, maybe? But anyways, maybe I could just put this in it's me talking to him about Bitcoin. There it is right there. Anyways, what's up, Tony? I'll put that in the chat and you guys can go find out for that. Really funny. Right there. So we'll put that in the chat again. Okay, here we go, man. Let's get to the party. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, I do this for a living and have a lot of fun doing it. But there's Palantir, 30 cents in the money. We just put this trade on, man. Today's a good day, man. When you're reading the board real well, sometimes these plays just happen. Now we're 35 cents in the money and going lower. We talked about, I mean, you and I and all of us there, we searched for a stock that I liked, right? And we wondered what the Palantir news was. You guys confirmed it for me there. Well, not confirmed it, but mentioned to me that it was insider selling. It didn't really matter, the news, honestly, just as long as there was a story. And then we found the 200 period moving average, and the rest is sort of history on that one. The thing is, though, the more that I think about this, all of this talk about, like, I don't want to talk about, too much negativity in this world, but I think it's there anyways. Palantir can benefit from war times, that's for sure. But the whole market probably doesn't. So the Nasdaq coming down, here comes Palantir as well to the downside. So, I mean, we're cracking 40 cents. That was a good idea so far. TQ's not doing anything. So it looks like we do have the right name here with Palantir, and we don't have much going on right now on the TQs. So I'm still bidding 56s on that one and watching Palantir throw up all over itself. So hopefully this comes in into 122 and we'll be a little more happier with this position than we are right now. But let's see. Here it comes, man. Here's 50 cents right now for Palantir. Let's see if we get a little bit of a flush. I'll bid some, well, now we're breaking through. Let's get something out at 46. There it is, out some more at 46. So there's the short on Palantir. Short at the 200 period, bang, right back in. Remember where our stop was? 20s. So right now we're 50 cents in the money when our stop was 123.20. So 20 cents worth of risk. We're in the money 50. You better take that every time. So there's a nice out for us as we continue to climb a little bit higher. The futures might be the problem here. They're not really moving around. And last week, I don't know, I didn't understand it. Was it you, Dan McKaiser, or who it was? It was like saying, you can't call the TQQs the futures. Well, they're tripled. It's the exact same movement as the futures. So I could trade the NQs. The only problem is we've talked about how they look, right? And I just don't really like looking, it's M, right, is the current contract. It's just, it's different key setups. It's different risk because how many ticks are you going to take? This is what it looks like. You don't see the size really on the level 2. And not that I look at that for the Nasdaq or anything, just a completely different game. So I feel more comfortable trading, you know, I could trade the QQQs. I only chose TQQ because it was less value. And I just felt like there was something in the fact that trading more names that some of our viewers may be trading with me as well. So that's why we chose Pikachu, I choose you, but I really do choose the TQ. So
extremely liquid.
And it's extremely liquid, yeah. Well, liquidity is never a problem. I'm lucky enough, really, to have buying power to also trade the Qs, but the TQs is definitely lower price and very liquid. And I know you've dabbled a little bit in the futures as well. So we're out of half of Palantir. I'm going to get out another piece right here, just because I really like this move down, and there we go, get some 62s, and we're really just topping off the day. So out of about 60% now of PLTR.
Yeah, I'm looking for that continuation, man. Like I said, I'm going to do my best to stay calm and take some reps there. I really like the market short. And again, Tesla kind of indicating a little bit of that dissipation of the bid a little earlier, around 1:30, 2 o'clock as well. And the TQ's finally coming in, or the Nasdaq finally coming in as well, off of a high of 71.14 on the TQ's current day high. But yeah, currently trading at 70s, 60s. Again, you can see here, I don't know why my thing is not populating, but like I said, it's the idea and the reps that matter as of right now, but a little bit of a trend break right there. That buying kind of dissipates and we get in for a little bit of a push back down into VWAP. Is it going to get down to VWAP? I have no idea. Again, with only about roughly 40 minutes remaining in the trading day, anything could really happen. Again, the last hour can be just as volatile as the initial hour, given the right kind of I guess circumstances and environment. But I do have to watch out for some of that here. But taking a bit of a pullback, right? So we've bid up pretty much all day, and in the last hour, do we see some relief? I'm always looking for that. If we kind of start to dissipate some of the strength, whether we're going up or down, and it seems like we are getting a little bit of that as of right now here across the board, and experiencing it a little bit better in terms of a move on certain tickers other than others. Again, you compare a Tesla to an Apple, you can see Apple's near its day highs, Softy's near its day highs, Alphabet's near its day highs. Amazon, though, is at its VWAP. Tesla is trying to make its way down to VWAP. TQs as well, sure, it's still trading within the upper quartile of its range on the day, but taking a little bit of a pullback, which is distinctly different from the bid that we've gotten pretty much all day as well. So stuff to keep an eye out on. I want to know what you guys are trading here. Tyler talking about Hood. That's one I didn't look at today. Hood definitely on radar there. I think somebody mentioned that it was pushing some fresh highs as of recent. Let's take a quick look and see what is good in this Hood here and see if that's been doing anything too crazy today. So I think that was a test of highs there. Let's take a quick look at a 3-hour chart to see that right there. So 67.13s, yeah. So we did print some fresh highs today on Robinhood here. So let's take a quick look at the intraday chart to see where that bid kind of came in. So right off of the open, in the opening session, and since then, since that clip of those highs, we've pretty much been selling off. Maybe a reversion to VWAP did happen. Yeah, right there, boom. So nice little VWAP consolidation breakdown. Now we're trading a little bit lower. But yeah, Hood's been decent. We've looked at CoreWeave multiple times here. George talking about trading Google. Google. So let's take a quick look at Google here on the day. Again, this was one of the tickers on my watch list this morning. What did I say? I said, look for the trend hold to get involved. Look for a VWAP hold. Prior day high is key. If the higher time frame trend breaks, look for sellers to step in. But if we do kind of hold that higher time frame trend, look for the bid to show up on VWAP. That was kind of the idea there for me. And guess what? That VWAP bid does come in. Excuse me, maybe not off of the open, but after everything settled down, look at this hold around 12 o'clock of that VWAP, giving me what I'm basically looking for the trade, and we get a little bit of a scalp there from 172s to 173. So nothing too crazy. I did see it come in, and I chose not to participate because I didn't think that it was necessarily too worth it. But again, it seems like it did work out pretty well. Right, so maybe a little bit of assessment of the opportunity might need to be worked on a little bit there. This is the thing. I was watching this thing over the weekend, a trader interview, and he was talking about like just being able to put up like what are they called? The base hits. Mm-hmm. Right, got to be able to put singles. Got to be able to put up singles. I know there's a lot of players who are always looking for the home run on every trade that they participate in, but again, some of my I would say better trading is when I'm trying to put up just every day, just a little bit, nothing too crazy, high probability, small hits, just boom, 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 boom. Base hits every day, and I think going forward, I might be trying to do that to kind of recover on the month. Exactly. And I think I always have, again, I feel comfortable having that in my back pocket for when I do need to bring it out, but I find myself sometimes getting a little lost in the sauce with some of these bag holds and letting my ego get the better of me. But we'll come back a little bit stronger tomorrow there. Bit of a bid coming in here on Tesla, but yeah, that Google push was nice. Didn't really follow that plan though. Saying, well, yes, you can't bunt though, saying Mr. Easy Street, nice, thank you. That's what that means? Is it base hits or no?
Yeah, bunts are you're just looking for base hits, like little singles or sacrifices.
Yeah. Look at that TQ's rush right there, boom. Nice little bid up right there.
Yeah, nice little bid up. Yeah, so I think we're kind of thinking the same thing here with the trading strategies because, we got some more out on Palantir as you were talking right there. Just trying to hit a couple singles, topping off the day one more time as it comes right back in there. I think a 123 out as we look and not trying to hit a home run again. Let's switch our outs. So we've already gotten... Now we'll just get out for flat. Let's go to 123.06 if it breaks. Okay, we'll get out of that because we want to take advantage of this. We don't want to give it all the way back to 20s. If it rips that, then we lose our 20 cents profit that we've had. So right now we'll basically get out for flat if it does go against us, and we'll see where it goes from there. So yeah, so far so good here as we just sit around and wait for this market to sort of do something. The futures are doing something and they're going higher, but they're right at this level again. Where was the stop? I didn't average into this, so 90s. So I'm okay. I kind of want one here. Okay, we'll take a fill right now as we get the 50 period and the 200 period. So we're still going to stop out if we take this level. So we're going to give some back, right? I mean, if this continues to go this way, then yeah, we're going to get some more out and get stopped. So we'll take a little bit of a play here, see if there's any movement, continuation movement to the downside here on the Nasdaq, because we're still well away from VWAP and we just had a little move. We just want to see if it can hold this 50 period, right? So there it looks like right now. Let's see what we can get back in right now on VWAP. On the 50 period moving average. We'll short a little bit right there. We just took a 75. Average fill right now on this, a 71s. So yeah, all right. So that's what we're doing there, hoping. And again, hope is never a great word that you want to use while you're day trading, but I do hope that this can fall back in Palantir and the futures. Here comes Palantir just a little bit. We're only short at 01s. Let me take a 75 bid. Remember, we're just going back and forth here with it. So if we do get a drop down, we will do that. Bitcoin 1096 right now. We did say we would have a look at some of the other crypto coins that are going there. And I do want to it's not like, unaware of what the QQQs or the Qs are. And I know the Qs are an ETF that tracks the Nasdaq, and it's not the futures. So, you know, and I know that, but I just call it that because I'm watching the futures and they move identical. So for me, when I'm trading the TQQs, it's obviously cents and dollars, not contracts, right? It's an actual equity. And I understand the difference between a derivative and an equity. So, but just to clarify that, just, you know, Ethereum is the winner today, 5.6%. I mean, what a great day for Ethereum. Solana, 2.6. So as Bitcoin takes a little bit of a break, some of the smart contract names are going a little bit. There's Solana, there's Ethereum. I don't know if Cardano's, that's another one there. So that's another one that I like as well. Dogecoin, I'm not even sure what the purpose of that eventually will be, but it's right there at 22 cents, just hovering around again, is Dogecoin. Obviously can get going as well.
Fiat for crypto.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, look, it's a good one, right? It's still top 8. And that includes Tether and USDC. So really, as far as a coin is concerned, Dogecoin really is top 6, you know, because you take away Tether and USDC and it's right there. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, XRP. And again, I know the difference between, I don't know it exactly, but XRP and Ripple are not the same. There's Solana as well, and then there's Dogecoin and then Cardano, and then Tron taking it out. So yeah, some good days ahead for crypto. I'm not sure, you know, where we go from here with crypto, but again, it's a pretty good look for the long term that you've held 100. You didn't even go back to test it, man. The last time we broke it, it's just been staying up here and hovering around these highs. So, you know, good day for Nasdaq. Obviously, that's holding true as well. So, all right, so here comes the Nasdaq again. Sorry, why don't I just call it the Nasdaq? There. Would we be happier with that? Right? This is a triple levered Nasdaq.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trading the Nasdaq. So then I don't get flack for people telling me that I'm not trading the actual futures instrument. Okay. So there it is, man. We are trading the Nasdaq as the Nasdaq goes down here, and I am using the TQQs to express my interest in the short. So there we go, man. We're shorting there off of this period, the 50 period. Let's see if we get a move down into 67s, which is where I was bidding. We'll see if we can get a fill there and then maybe lower after that, right? And we'll see about this break. That's eventually what we're here for. So a move back there. There's our buy order at 67. So we just get filled there. Now let's see if it can make that move lower into the downside. Palantir tried to break 123, but did not. So let's come back in a little bit. We got some out at 75. Let me put a bid here at 85 and see if we get that as well. Let's see what now happens with Palantir. Hopefully the downside right here. So there goes Palantir. Just a quick look at Tesla. It's been doing things since we broke 60. It did have that little barcode action around 358 and change. We now are a half hour away from Okta and Box. Other than that, there's not too much else there tonight. So we'll review some of the ETFs that have been going around back and forth as well. Here comes Tesla. All right, so we'll have to get out some more TQs here. Hopefully we can get some downside push. I do want to now bid 60s if we can get that, because we did get a better price there as the NASDAQ continues to move around here again. So $70.61 is where we're bidding. You don't see Obi's positions. He's taking around. Ooh, Obi, that's a nice new picture for you.
Oh yeah,
well.
we took some.
I'm noticing
pictures.
on that one. Yeah, that's a go. I think I'm wearing this shirt in that picture. Okay, Donald Trump.
Where's he at though?
Something, Donald Trump Jr. ringing the bell or something.
China.
I don't know.
Oh boy.
So nothing happening there. All right, so Palantir just runs the top. We get out. Fine. We made money on that trade. It was a good trade, actually, all in all. So we get short at 123, get out here in the 40s and the 50s, our best fill 43s, and then we get out of everything else. We had 45%, 40 to 45% left, taken out at 123. So nice move higher there. It's funny because now the futures are going down and Palantir is going up, as opposed to what was happening in part 2 of that trade before. So, so far so good. HIMS is going apparently now as well, Obi. So what are you in anything? Although I know you're in sim mode.
Yeah, so I have a Tesla short from 360 to 86, and I have a TQ short from 70.
Oh, you're short
78.
TQs, okay.
Yeah, so just watching. Again, only about 30 minutes left, so just observing how we close on the day today. I like the positioning that I got into, but again, I want to reiterate that, again, like you said, trading in the sim currently because I was shut down aggressively trying to fight the trend on Tesla. Don't do that. Yeah, that'll be reviewed later on today. But as of right now, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I'm just going to try to do my best to take good reps and make the right kind of decisions for the trades I would be taking regardless, because I don't want to mess that mental up. We kind of talked about that earlier today, how sometimes mental can change when you're trading sim versus real, because people have a switch in their mind thinking that it's not real. But at the end of the day, if you think that the game is real, then it does, like, nothing else really matters, right? So it's like, can you play the game? Then play the game. So that's kind of my mindset. When I try to do that, of course, it's not perfect, but that's kind of what I try to adapt. And sometimes I do a good job at it, sometimes I do a horrible job at it, but that's the ideal kind of mindset that I'm trying to go for there. But yeah, let's kind of continue watching this market. We are taking a bit of a pullback here, so some strong selling coming in, going into the last half hour. But again, I don't know if it makes sense, but we bid up pretty much for the whole session, except for this last, I guess, hour or so. You can see it very clearly here on the TQs. Look at that, 3:15, 3 o'clock. This is the 2 o'clock candle right there. So since 2 o'clock, we've been kind of selling off there. So about an hour and a half right there. So let's see if we can break some fresh lows here. TQ's coming in. You know what? I should probably pull up a chart here as well so I can keep an eye on these TQs. Again, look at that. Nice little, so strong trend.
Let's go,
OB. Trending and then breaking that trend and taking a little bit of a pullback. Where do we come into? I have no idea. VWAP's all the way down at 69.85 here. But again, I think we would need a lot of action for us to come all the way down into VWAP. Maybe some imbalance volume as well could bring us down into there. But again, like I said before, no idea what this action is going to do. But as of right now, what I can speak on is what's happening in front of me, and there's selling kind of stepping in here, which is distinctly different. Oh boy, there goes the TQs. There it is, right there. So yeah, so a little bit of a follow through happening there on across the board there.
In that chilly feeling right now.
Oh boy.
There it is, man. I'm glad that you're on board with this trade as well. But there it goes, man. The TQs to the downside, man. And it was gonna say, like, just another one of those ideas. Like, we don't know. I have no idea, if this market's what this market wants to do, right? We just trade the ideas that we have, and it's a 200 period moving average. And the same thing happened right there with Palantir, right? Broke, we got out, stopped downside. Let's see what's going on with QBTS. So it's funny because I wanted to look this up because I want to talk about some other names here. But I remember I was saying to myself, like, 17, when I left, I was like, maybe 17 is going to be the bottom. And again, just a pure fluke. Like, I didn't call 17s. It's not like, oh my God, here's 17s. I cannot believe where it's at. But 17 came in a couple of times and has been holding that bottom. So it doesn't look like it wants to do anything right now, but let's watch out to see if 17 comes into play again for that. QBTS, downside play there today. We actually did pretty good, making a little bit of cash on this play today, that's for sure. Up and away, and then faded back out, and we got stopped out right there at 17.25. Not before we made money early and then made money a little late. That was about a flat trade as we just sort of washed that back and forth a little bit there. But not wash trading, please. I don't want to pretend that. We can't wash trade here. Our system.
Our system will
yeah, believe me. I've got many sort of like little emails there. Can you explain what you did here? And yeah, so I've had to do that a couple of times, just running into her. Neil and I, maybe we'll trade the same name. I'll go long, he'll go short, and they want to know like if we were doing anything. But again, shout out to regulators. No, yeah, it's just hedging. Just so one of us could definitely be right. But no, so that's just quickly there. We cannot do that. So I don't even know why we brought that up. Just meant that trade was a wash. Like we got, let's just say, $10 on the long and lost $10 on the short. But okay, so Rigetti the same kind of ways right now. I don't know. Great movement to the upside right now. What's so funny to say?
Oh, I'm just like, cause like so I'm in my mind. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what happened to me. Where I didn't wash the trade, but the trade washed me.
Ah, right. How about this one?
So
we got rinsed.
Yeah, I got rinsed. So basically the same thing.
Yeah, what came out in the wash? Right there. So all right, just real quick, man. We did cover some of TQs. We got some good fills down there, right? Bottoms 45 or so. All right, so that's a couple things. SMR, there it is. We like that graphic. Thanks, Joe or Andre or whoever did that. Thanks, Joe, for that. All right, so right into here, man. I sold some SMR last week because, it's kind of like sell Buy the rumor, sell the news. Well, not today, man. This news is still being well received, to say the least, as SMR and that nuclear bill there. And again, Trump's right. I mean, anybody that's trading nuclear has been right. The whole thing is that I wanted to make sure that I was actually right. I had bought it down here on this break, right into here of $12. No, it wasn't that break. It was another. I'm long at, I don't know where I was. Well, it must have been in here. Yeah, it must have been right into here, I guess. Yeah, long into here. I was long 11 and change. And then I saw it go all the way up to $30. Thought we were doing pretty cool trade. Then it fell all the way back in again, then all the way back up to $30 again, then all the way back in. And I'm going to sound like a broken record if I keep doing this, but it's the truth is what happened. And then I just said, next time it comes up here, I want to get something out. So we were able to get something out, and we did pretty good by doing that. So nice move there at $30 getting out, but it's not going to look nice as we're all the way up to $34. This is NewScale. It's a relatively new IPO. Came out in May of 22, so it's been 3 years. Came out at $10, and now maybe it was a SPAC, and then now all the way up to $34 as, again, SMR stands for? Small modular reactors. Yeah. Yes, so good one there, Obi. As that's, again, something there. No, because I didn't put two and two together. It's NewScale. We always call it SMR, but the company name NewScale. So, yeah, great move higher there for everybody. Congratulations if you're on that, man. NewScale continues to work. And, I won't call this the futures, but the Nasdaq predicting the future lower right now for the Nasdaq, and so far, so good. What's up, Obi?
Yeah, so traders, listen up. First month, free. That's right. We're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything, infinite data. Instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable, real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description for eSignal. And another signal
we like eSignal
that's coming in right now is, well, the signal came in a little earlier, but the market is coming in right now to the downside. So those TQs coming in, and oh boy, so the Tesla reversion did come in a couple times, but it seems like now is the real time to get in here on that 364, 363, a bit of a break of trend here, back through that 362, again, back through 360s, and then VWAPs coming in all the way at, I have at 356.60s. So I don't know if we're going to get down to VWAP, but we're definitely getting the right kind of tailwind for a potential push down into VWAP. And again, we've seen Tesla a couple times already today. We pulled back into the VWAP area, not really testing it at the specific price, but then kind of bidding back up as well. So I do want to be wary of that. Watch out for that. But again, being the last 30 minutes of the day after an all day of bidding, I do want to kind of be a little bit patient if sellers are finally stepping in here. And yeah, Zero Gravity saying Obi just wants that short. Yeah, maybe. Sometimes I get so like anchored to one direction, and I try to force it a little too much. But here's the thing. I think that regardless of whether the ticker is going up or down, if I have a certain bias, if I have the right kind of execution structure, I can still come out alive on the other side, whether that trade works or not, relative to the execution structure. Right? And that was a big issue today. It's like, yeah, sure, you have a great idea, and it doesn't work, and that happens all the time. But what is your I guess procedure and your standard operating procedure when those plans go wrong? And that's obviously something that I have to kind of work on over time. But seems like the market's finally coming in. So let's see what we do into the close here. Do we see more selling coming in, or do we see that buying step back up? I don't know if that will come in until tomorrow, but we've been having that aggressive buying back to back now on the weeklies.
Yeah, no, I'm so we're out of exactly half now of this trade, because just to your point, like I'm not even really sure what exactly is going on right now in the market. And by that, I mean, like, there's not much going on. It's not a huge earnings week. Other than tomorrow, we have a bunch of big names coming through, and we just got to wait for that. Like tonight, I shouldn't say not a big earnings week. I mean, when you have one of the biggest names that's most anticipated coming through tomorrow, it's going to be a big night, big week. But Okta tonight, Box, so nothing nothing super fancy. So we'll have to wait. And then we do get some, I'm going to get out another piece here at 61. We covered, there we go. We've just been covering on this trade, just not to get too silly with it. 70.80, I'm going to use now my new stop. So we are going to go 70.90. Now let's go 70.81, just in case it does wind up breaking higher. That's the 200 period moving average is 77. So we'll go a little bit higher than that, and then make sure that we do capture all the profits, so we don't get stopped out. Just like what happened on Palantir, we need to make sure that does not happen again. IMNN. This is another name that was moving around, and it's a good thing we didn't break through 222 right there, because that was that level that we were looking at. It does not go, so we don't have to worry about it. There are some imbalances coming in just under 10 minutes, so let's have a quick look here. Looks like what's going to be hitting is Pfizer. We'll see if I'll just see if there's any reaction to these plays. Right now, it's a sell side of 4.5 million. Pfizer up on the day 1.35. Okay, CVE, I mean, not doing too much again. This, I don't know, Synovus Energy, another one there. AMCR, that's not AMC. Enbridge is there with a buy. You know, so for right now, there's nothing really too big. It's kind of mixed between buyers and sellers. So, Lumen Technologies, $4. Is that anything? Maybe not. Yeah, I'm not really seeing too much Schlumberger. So there's some energy. Oh, there's Visa. That's probably the most expensive, $360. So look out for that to come in as a possible play for Visa as well. Maybe a bid there on that. Up 1.6%. This Visa's been really cooking, man. That's a great stock as a play.
Both of them, MasterCard, Visa, is just continuing to push.
Yeah,
hard,
AXP, right? They're all doing really well because the consumer seems to be pretty strong, I guess, is what they're telling us, Obi. I don't know if I believe in that, but I don't
know about that, but I would say the consumer might be going into more debt. And who better to bet on than people who make money off of people going into debt?
Which would be Visa. Yeah, the only thing is that, again, I guess it's the delinquencies, right? I mean, I don't think they have a huge amount of delinquencies coming through, which I think is probably right. And I mean, those credit card fees that you mentioned there about them making a lot of money off of those, that is obviously true. And we, you know, tell people like Tony, there it is, he has that your imbalance warning, not to over lever too much with debt, especially in this market, because one day you never know. But I don't think Visa, again, it's a strong consumer, right? I mean, right now people are keeping their jobs, people feel like they still want to spend money, and things are getting more expensive out there. That's for sure. So just to live your life, it's getting a little pricey right now. So just be careful with that. It's like, even when Marissa's shopping, it's like, you can't go to Walmart without walking out of there with a $100 bill, you know, something like that. And it's just, you know, if you're buying food daily for a family, clothing, anything like that, supplies, everything is costing a lot of money right now. So yeah, Visa, to your point, I think that's a good call on that one.
A lot of people are definitely going to be using credit. Just they already are, right? And I think, like, yeah, as sad as it is, and as concerning as it is, at the end of the day, the trade is the trade.
Right. Yep.
The trade is the trade. It's like these companies stand to profit off of that kind of situation. So I don't know. Again, I'm just making it's just a thesis. The fundamentals are way above my pay grade. I'll tell you that much for sure. But yeah, strong charts nonetheless, and I think for a good reason. Yeah, TQ's pulling back in here. What's the time right now? 43. So only about just over 5 or 6 minutes until these imbalances hit here, and we're already starting to see a little bit of a shake and bake and some chop there happening across the board there. So yeah, TQs, you can see this. This is a 3-minute chart here on the TQs. A little bit of a shake and bake there. That aggressive selling that came in. I was like, whoa! If you guys remember, I was like, whoa, that's some selling coming in. And guess what? There was no follow through. There was no continuation. You got stopped right there in its tracks. There was a bit of a tape turn. There was the absorption, whatever you want to call it. 70 halves held really well. So I'm just like, all right, well, I'm looking for it to go right away if it's going to do this. If it's not going to do it, then I'm going to stay. I'm going to try to do my best to stay away from that and be as nimble as possible. It seems like that TQ's move is coming right back in. So I did get out of, I guess, 90% of that push there. And Tesla seems like it's kind of turning as well, back above that 360 mark. So yeah, going to stay patient. Only about, only about 15 minutes left during the trading day. So not really watching anything else. So yeah, just gotta observe, keep it simple, and nothing too crazy. Right?
Yeah, I gotta go run over there and get the computer going for the after show. All right, so again, just still in 40% of this. Our stop is at 70.80. We're only short right now at 775 on the Nasdaq. We'll see what winds up happening as we get into that. Anything else you guys want to look at? We talked about Affirm. We talked about some of the credit card names. So let's have a quick look here maybe at Affirm and then see what's going on with that one. As yeah, we're not, again, you want to talk about some delinquencies. I was actually surprised. I believe Affirm's last report, they didn't even report too many delinquencies, which was a surprise to me. So Affirm looks like it wants to keep on working out as well as far as an investment idea, holding the 200 period moving average. Affirm up 4% today. So not a bad look here for AFRM as another name in an alternate finance. We talked about Robinhood being near at its most recent highs as well, as that name keeps on cooking higher as well. Robinhood up another 4%. Huge move there, trying to like this to me looks like it's coiling up to break again. And this is not even that much of a coil. It's kind of like that Tesla coil that we talked about on the daily chart right here that happened today on the break. So Tesla felt like, it's still not that many days, but it felt like it was kind of coiling up, and then there's the break long for Tesla. I think this could be a multi-day continuation play there for TSLA. So that could be something coming in. All right, Obi, I'm just going to head over there because I just want to make sure that I do get logged in and everything is fine, and then I'll come back and we'll discuss some of those imbalances just in a couple minutes. I'll only be gone 1 second. So.
Yeah, no worries. Again, I'm kind of reading the chat here. People talking about Pony, Scott talking about Pony. That kind of was on my radar over the past couple of weeks. Haven't really seen it in a while, so let's take a quick look at that one there. Let's see what is happening here on Pony, Pony AI Inc., of course. So some strong action today on the day, reverting, I guess, a decent chunk or all of Friday's move during the opening session, not the pre-market session there, as those highs coming in at 22.36s, currently trading at 21s. But yeah, aggressively strong, again, alongside the rest of the market here on Pony AI. So good call out on that one there. Stanley Games saying stay nimble always. Yeah, for sure. Of course, got to stay nimble and protect the mental. Got to protect the account, and I guess on to the next one. Right, where is the next trade? That's the mindset that I try to keep and try to do the best at keeping as well. And hopefully, you guys found some value in that today. Going against the trend on Tesla, not really working out, and me being a little. I would say slightly degen with my execution rules and really getting shut down on something I really should not be. Again, am I trading a stock that's absolutely strong on the day? Yes. Am I counter trending? Yes. Therefore, to reiterate your point, you have to stay nimble. You have to stay nimble. You cannot expect for more, especially if you are counter trending. You just got to take what the market. You got to take what the market gives you in general, but especially when you're counter trending. You just got to take what she gives you and move on to the next trade there. So Tesla, I guess that one worked out pretty well there. I got involved for that short there, but kind of consolidating and maybe ticking back to the upside. So going to get out of the last one there. TQs, I'll actually hold on to the TQs a little bit longer. I covered, I guess, 90% of this going into that flush into 70 halves from 70 80s-ish area on the TQs. So let's see what the closing imbalances can bring in for us here with only about a minute and a half left, guys. So let me know in the chat, what have you guys traded today? Were you guys successful in terms of following your plan and your processes? Did your trades work out? And what specifically did you trade? I'm curious to know. Again, if you were to ask me what the best opportunity on the day was, I would say bar none, Tesla 350 breakout, technical breakout, maybe some I guess you had negative news that could also trap some shorts off the open if they're thinking short, but then you also have the Elon news of him coming back in. So I think a little bit of a confluence for the long. Again, I spoke about this multiple times in the morning, for taking inventory through that 350 or a push through 355, which was prior week high, and we got a beautiful example of when that happens. Pretty much as planned. VWAP held well, opening structure held well. We stepped up, and we got that slow grinding bid. We also had market tailwind as well. So I was definitely wrong in disrespecting a lot of that information. And not really getting out when the market told me that clearly I was wrong. So I got to do a little bit better with respecting the market and also respecting myself. So that's obviously a work in progress here. Local saying, Obi, can you take a look at eToro? We know this ticker IPO'd very recently. I'm curious to know what it's been up to. So thank you for pointing our direction towards this here. So not really as liquid as day one or day two, it would seem. Let's see what the average volume here on this ticker is. Oh boy, here comes these imbalances. So 360, so a little bit of a chop here on Tesla as well, and the market with a little bit of sell-off. Let's see if that comes into fruition here going into the close. So yeah, we can take a look at eToro. So eToro pretty much sideways action since the IPO. You can see that IPO day one high was 74.26. We haven't really gone back up there. We're just chopping around sideways, consolidating, sideways range. So nothing too crazy happening here on eToro, but I don't know if this one is going to go for a bull run anytime soon, but I'll be looking for that 75 breakout if that can potentially come in here on eToro. So that's my look on eToro. Does anyone know if eToro was a SPAC? I don't think it was a SPAC. It was just a straight up IPO on eToro. So that's the look there. What are these imbalances looking like?
Yeah, there's not
nothing crazy.
What is HCTI? Okay, nothing. A 5-cent stock. For Tesla, looks like a decent sell side right there, so that could be something. We were able to get out as soon as that hit 61, 62s. I just sat back down actually because I heard in my ear the imbalances were out. So I want to make sure that we were able to cover something there. So we'll put another bid at 60 now for the futures, as it was not a very big number there. So yeah, there it is. So we take a little fill there. Yeah, there's Tesla with the sell. So it's starting to hit a little bit lower. But again, remember, 104 million shares, a million sell. Not huge. Oh, NVIDIA comes with a buy. So just to show you that there's like not much going on many of these names. AMC's not there. Ooh, Walmart, 97. I cannot believe Walmart got to like, was it a 7? Did Walmart have a 7 handle on it? No, it had almost, yes, it did. Wow. But I don't ever want to count those bottom wicks, but anyways, $80 for Walmart seems to have been a great little level. I upgraded, was I with you, Joe? No, who was I with when I upgraded Target? I had a Target. I said, if Target breaks $100, I want to upgrade this name. And honestly, I think it was on the after show. I think it must have been Joe, but yeah, I really like this stock if we can break back above, because again, this is a prolonged coil. Like, I don't know what this is called. I mean, I'd have to ask. Spring, yeah, that's why I'm hoping it springs higher here. Maybe with Brian Shannon. I believe he's still coming on with me tonight. I can double check to see if this dude has messaged me at all. There it is. Funny. Yeah, should follow that account. Yeah, this is my. Oh, he has a dogs account as well, Brian. Hey, what's up? What's up, Brian? As we go. But yeah, okay, so here we go. I just wanted to say that he's going to be joining me tonight, Brian Shannon. I'm going to talk to him about Target, see what he thinks about how this is looking right now. He's going to tell me don't trade it till it's out of the penalty box, but I think this name is right here, just trying to take out the 50-period moving average. Let's see if Target, where the price, as soon as this breaks 100, I like the long. So I think that's something to look for there. We'll talk about a Target. I always like the 200 period, but thinking about back to 120, get a 20% return there on TGT if we break that level higher there as well. All right, so let's just have a quick look at some of the other runners today. So DJT down to 23. I mean, we, again, establishing that new Bitcoin. Was it a Bitcoin trust or something that they're going to do there? DJT there offered some shares, I think $1 billion worth or something like that, which really, so we got going there on Bitcoin news, then the fact that it was going to cost the shareholders everything. So that came back in there. So we'll wait to see Bitcoin today and DJT down that 10%. I think that had like an $8 billion market cap or so. So to lose $1 billion of that into Bitcoin makes a little bit of sense. So that's coming back off now. And we'll wait to see, not sure if the Bitcoin's bought or not, but 110,000 or so where DJT makes that announcement there today. GameStop also had that nice run, man, and we talked about buying off the 200 period. That looks like that was a great opportunity there as GameStop continues to go higher. And then AMC, we kind of related it. I mean, AMC and GameStop kind of moving together. We kind of related it to the big weekend here for movie sales and movie goers. So AMC.
That's some buying.
And then Joe was wondering about is Mission Impossible actually a thing? Because if all of the missions keep happening, then they become possible. Yeah. But this one is called Final Reckoning. So I would think that maybe the next one may not be that. And then Webull, we did have, I kind of want to buy this name as well. Right now it's at $13. I mean, this has been another pretty, Were you guys just talking about this? I thought I heard
Tesla
something.
breaks high a day.
Webull as well, moving. Tesla just broke high of day.
It's going for it.
What? Okay, the market's
Ripped
shooting
up
up.
$1.50. Yeah, the market's coming in as well.
All right, we can have a quick look at Tesla.
Those are
The futures we just got stopped out of, but we're okay. Yeah, there goes Tesla. Yeah, I don't know about high a day, but it is making moves here, Obi.
coming in for it, man.
Yeah, nice move upside right now for TSLA. So don't know exactly what's up with that, but there it goes, man. Nicely hitting as the futures are also hitting upside right now. So yeah, it looks like a nice little late day rally here in the market. 355. Was Tesla's just turned around? Maybe it was a bid.
It was initially a sell I saw earlier, right?
Oh, was it? Okay,
Yeah,
so maybe
it was a sell.
there's the turned buy.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so a
But
flip
still,
on Tesla.
yeah, it still seems very aggressive.
Tesla flip game strong.
That's a flip game strong.
But
Flute
it
game.
seems like the market flipped as well. You know?
Yeah, the market there now 2.29%. We'll wait for tomorrow, man. Looks like a nice little buy there in NVIDIA at the end of the day. So maybe that means something coming up very, very soon. So we'll see tomorrow night. Join Sharif and myself, and we will be going over all of that. Hymns downside today too. Hey, what's going on with Eli Lilly actually? 725. Okay, I'm still waiting. Did that get to 700? I don't actually have a bid down there. Yeah, 714. I recently got out of some Google, which looks bad to buy Eli Lilly. Not good. But that was just last week. So into here, 750. But still looking to buy some more down here near 700 for Eli Lilly.
Yeah, this bid is coming in pretty aggressive here on both Tesla, Nasdaq, pretty much everywhere there. We were talking about Softy. Softy finally kind of clipped its high, so maybe some pressure coming in on a Softy breakout of high a day. Here comes Tesla. Tesla high a day is sitting at 363.78. Currently trading about a point away at 362.50s here on Tesla. Alphabet as well, attempting to push highs. Apple though, Apple pulling back a little bit there, so distinctly different there on Apple. Oh boy, this push on Tesla is absolutely aggressive. Again, with only about I guess there's the pairing there. So 56 already passed, so we only got a couple more minutes left here. I'm curious to know whether or not Tesla cracks that high a day and kind of puts shorts, I guess all the intraday shorts underwater going into the close. Don't forget, I kind of talked about this name being a little bit of a perpetual squeezer. Stair-step squeeze if you look at higher time frame on Tesla, and a little bit of squeezing action on the day today, it would seem, with an aggressive bid. So let's see if that action comes into the close, right? That confirmation of some strong buying, and then looking for a potential continuation coming into coming into tomorrow as well, for sure. Coming into Toronto as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're coming into Toronto, you might as well, like Ozan, visit. You can stay with Sharif or whoever you want. I think Joe's offered up his place there, but Milo is running amok over there. So you got to watch out for good old Milo right there. How is dog training going anyway? Okay, good. Yeah.
He's doing good.
Oh, okay. So he's in the crate now. Okay. What do you mean? He's breaking out of it, or you're letting him out? And he jumps out. Yeah, he climbs out. Climbing out of the crate right now. No lid on the crate. Hence the climbing out.
You need a higher wall, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You can solve that problem up there, no problem. All right, so again, with only 2 minutes left, man, Tesla does look like it wants to make that run for the high of the day. Let's check out what Quantum did. So QBTS, I would say this is a good long for tomorrow. Now that we're starting to get upside right there, it looks like they're trying to buy this thing. So let's wait to see tomorrow for Quantum. You can mark that down for me, 1760 long. QBTS. We'll see what happens tomorrow right there. It looks like it wants to break. I think if there was more time in the day, this thing does take VWAP, and then it's to the races. So I do like this play there for QBTS. You can hold me to that tomorrow. We can talk about that tomorrow morning first thing if you want to. Let's see what that's going on. What's up, Oz? And if you can want to ask Obi if you can stay with him, I don't know. BBAI. Wow, BBAI. 450, man. We like that stock. Right there. Nice move up there on Big Bear AI as that continues to make some moves. And finally, we're in the money on this name. So that's starting to go back up to the upside as well. IONQ, I'm seeing in the chat, starting to jump off a little bit for the $8. Before you go, man, join myself and myself here live for the recap show. I have to refresh this to see how many likes we do have right there. So it's going to be me, myself, and I, and Brian Shannon coming through. So hit that like button right now. 5,000 of you watching. Let's see if we can get that going. I know it's a relatively slow week and a short week, which is nice, man. We only trade 4 days this week, so that should be nice. But with only 30 seconds left, we do have Satya, of course. We'll be ringing that bell, and then we'll be going over there and going through all of the earnings, and hopefully they're going to be good ones with Okta and Box. I'll have this in my ear as well if there's any sort of story that we need to talk about, and then Brian Shannon coming through at about 4:15.
Should be solid there.
Yeah, it should be good.
About 10 seconds left. Yeah, solid trading day. A lot of great opportunities here with only about 10 seconds left. Let's do the countdown to the bell as Tesla breaks or tries to break high a day there in 3, 2, and 1. Thank you, Satya. So let's see. Tesla, what'd you do off on the close there? I didn't really see the closing print there, but I guess we printed just above those 63s there. So a nice little push happening going into the close. So showing us that strength continuation. 21.5 on the Nasdaq. So should be interesting.
All right, join me tomorrow.
Yes, for sure.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Sean. And we'll just wait for Sean to set up there for the market recap. So don't go anywhere, guys. Stick around, and Sean is going to come up very, very soon there. So yeah, we can talk about again. I've talked about my Tesla position and what I did to trade it all day. But while we wait for Sean to set up there, let's quickly take a look at why I thought in the morning that the long was the trade, and I still to this point do believe that the long on Tesla was probably the trade of the day here. Again, looking at a higher time frame, you can see that prior level right here at 55, a little bit of a top. We can see over the past couple of weeks, we've been kind of consolidating after a run up all the way from the lows there. Nice little consolidation, 350s, attempting. I actually tried the trade a couple of times on this push and it didn't work. Finally comes in off of the opening volume today, not only breaking that 350, looking at pre-market highs as well at 349s and change, breaking prior week's highs, pulling back and holding prior week's highs, giving you that confirmation that yes, we are very likely to bid, and breaking out of that morning consolidation as well, giving us that continuation. So Tesla, absolutely solid breakout trade today. So shout out to anybody who had the 350 long. I know that was number one. That was Sean's number one idea as well on his sticky note. So don't forget to follow that. There it goes, Sean. 364s on Tesla. So all it took was a little bit of after hours time, and we clip those day highs right there. Coming into fruition is some of that price action that we've been seeing building all day. So without any further ado, I think Sean is ready for us. So don't go anywhere, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. But stick around for the market recap. Take it easy.
All right, what's going on? Thank you, Obi, for sure. Well, Okta is now out. So welcome to the recap show. We'll go over Okta earnings. We'll go over Box. We'll talk to Brian. We'll see what he has to think about some names. If there's any sort of questions or comments or anything you want to ask Brian, put them in the chat. I always tell him we're going to do a Q&A. We never do it. Today may be a good day to try to get some questions. So Bears versus Bulls, if you say anything worthwhile there, message me. But there goes Okta right now to the downside. Let me see what they got here on Benzinga Pro. EPS right now of 86 cents, beating 77, and sales of 688, beating 680. So looks like Okta right there on top and bottom line will beat both sides, but maybe the guide a little weak. So we'll have to wait to see that. But there goes Okta to the downside. Remember, futures, the stock, here we go. We're going to get this in a minute. 80, okay, so 86 versus 77. Once we hit it in our ear, I'll get you whatever the forward guide is on OKTA. But there it comes right back in. Still coming back into the 50-period moving average. So the stock looking real strong. I think it's probably a buy down there. Again, top and bottom line beat. 86 cents versus 77. 688 versus 68. Here it is. Okay, 2.85 on the guidance to 2.86 under. So their gap EPS guide slightly under for the year, right? So there's Okta getting hit a little bit now on the downside for that play. So Okta going downside. And again, once we get more information on that, we will talk about it. GEVO right here, announcing a new CFO. Nothing going on right there now. So NVIDIA right here also providing a Quicken with more. We're just getting some more information here from NVIDIA after hours. Still looks like this name wants to climb a little bit here. 135.60, a good one. So 323 to 328 for Okta on the guide, and they don't like that guide. So 320 to 328 right there, down $15 right now. Okta, nice downside right there. Okay, so crypto stocks to consider, right? We did have a good day on crypto in general. IBIT does wind up holding roughly that 110 area for BTC. We kind of go out near the highs, not near the highs, but not off the lows for IBIT right now, up that 1.1%. It was a pretty mixed day. The thing about it is, as you look over here, I actually did some research here because we knew we didn't have a Hedera. 5-to-1, the ratio of advancing to declining stocks today, as again, U.S. stocks surged today as investors react to good news from the EU coming out from Donald Trump saying July 9th extension on that 50% tariff play for the Nasdaq and for the S&P 500. They receive well to those stories. So up again 2.24%. SPY up as well, 2% as we continue to go higher, and a nice rebound in consumer confidence also helping. I have too much news happening in my ears right now. All right, I'm going to take that out. We're just waiting for Box to drop, and they're going higher right there. So Box looks like they're a nice little beat to the upside as well. As soon as we get that coming through, I'll give you that story. But I don't see Box's numbers yet, but they are going to the upside. So Box going one way, Okta going the others. So I hope you short one, long the other right there on that. But the NASDAQ and the rally today was very broad-based, as you can see right here. Many of the indexes continue to go higher right there. 5-to-1 on the NASDAQ, 3-to-1 there on the ES on the up versus the downside. The only negative catalyst today, marijuana, MSOS down 3%. So that was a negative sector today. Wheat, gold also down 1.69%. And I think this is going to be a buying opportunity. I'm waiting for gold to come in at a 290 area. I like that as a dip buy. Maybe we talk to Brian about that. And some of the sort of flight to safety names hitting downside, right? USO down there today as oil taking a little bit of a breather. They've had a decent run. We'll see if oil can get going. DBC is dollar strength, I believe. No, commodity index as well there. Oh, we can check what UUP did for the dollar today. Dollar roughly flat, bullish index there, up 0.4 on the UUP. What was strong today? Like I said, very, very broad-based. Look at the Jets ETF as airliners go up today, 4%. That's a big move. There's some of the metal names up, mining up today, 2.6% as they continue to climb a little bit higher. But this is what it was all about today. President Trump delayed 50% tariffs on EU imports until July the 9th. This de-escalation helped reduce trade tensions, and buying was spurned across the board, right? Names like in the banking sector, XLF, a little bit of a relief rally today, back up 1.8% as that's clicking and ticking up near highs. Consumer confidence also boosts it. We got that read at 10 o'clock. That was a good read, suggesting growing optimism amongst economic conditions, right? I mean, we talked about what Visa was doing there today, right? Obi and I said consumer confidence. As consumers are more confident, they're spending more money. Visa continues to go higher, as does MA, right? As does my favorite AXP, continues to get a growth side to it as well. Sector highlights, man. The NASDAQ really outperforming today. Energy stocks, little underperforming everyone else, but XLE up still 0.87. We already talked about USO as well. NVIDIA shares continue to climb today ahead of tomorrow's highly anticipated Q1 release, right? So NVIDIA almost back to all-time highs. The thing is that story is still fluctuating with NVIDIA, man. And we heard today that China's market share is getting eaten by Huawei as well. So that's a little bit of a downside play there. Do post-market earnings, HPQ coming as well, post-market on Wednesday. Salesforce coming post-market on Wednesday. So many big names coming through today. Wow, Salesforce could be tomorrow. Salesforce could be a good little buy down here at 270, but they're kind of leading it. What we're looking for tomorrow, we have durable goods, we have GDP read on Thursday, and then on Friday we have PCE data. So some good plays coming through there today, and a good little review for us to go with. The NASDAQ was the big winner. The Dow today, 1.81%. You know what we didn't look at too much was UNH. 294. Okay. So I know Neil had bought this. I think he was 305, 310-ish area. I'm not sure exactly. We'll quote that when he gets back. UNH definitely beat up and again down a little bit there today. I do like the healthcare sector with Eli Lilly, so we'll see if that's bouncing around a little bit. Check back on Okta to see what that's doing right now. So Okta down here to 111, 110. Not a great move down. Still now down over 10% for OKTA. And then Box was the other earnings report. That made a move all the way to 38. Now only up 13%, but is retracing back to $35. What does that look like on the daily chart? Okay, up here, what am I looking at? Okta right now, I can't believe that got 38. Okta right now back up to these highs. There's so many little undercover plays that we don't even think about, sorry, with Box, not Okta, as there it is. Nice move up, 15% there for Box. So again, we should have Brian Shannon coming on in just momentarily. If there are any questions for him, please let me know. Oh, a downside play today was China. We should have maybe talked about that one, as that's still hovering around the 50-period moving average. Now, we did, I don't know if BYDDF, do we get pink sheets on this? Yeah, so here's BYD, right? So this isn't, again, a CDR, it's an ADR here, for a Chinese name, but American Depository Receipt happening over there on the OTC market. So this is a way to get involved with BYD. Coming back into $53 there today, down 4.5%. There's also BYDDY, just the different shares. That's down 9%. So looking at the difference there, 120 back into 107. BYD right there, the ADR, down 9%. What's Tesla doing here in the after hours? Tesla right now, 362. Obi and I talked about this all day. What a great trade that was, breaking through 350. Thing about Tesla, the story with Tesla remains the same. We now have Elon back focusing here. He talked about XAI as well. We'll look for the robo-taxis. We'll look for autonomous drive. But oh boy, was this a trade for us today. We actually wind up getting out of our last piece, breaking through 360 to the downside. But Tesla remains really strong today, closing at the highs. And I think Obi said we took them out right there at the end, but we are fading back into 363 there. This is a 5-minute chart here happening for us at the end of the day. Maybe we can go over to a 3-minute chart just to see that aggressive move. Yeah, there it was right there. So back into highs. We'll see tomorrow. If we look at this 365 tomorrow, I think it's a great little long to look at that. RIVN, Rivian, not so much, man. They're going to the downside. We actually talked about this on a daily chart with Rivian. All these top candles kept on bumping its head into that $17, $18 range. Rivian, nice downside push. I'm going to put this back in my ear in case anything does hit there. So yeah, tomorrow, you are 100% right. Save man, woman, peace. NVIDIA earnings are tomorrow night. So we're going to get excited for that. We will get ready to hit those earnings live. It'll be Sharif and I on the desk here tomorrow for you. We're going to talk about NVIDIA earnings. We should have a lot to talk about as far as that is concerned, okay? So we'll get that play tomorrow. It should be right around 4:05. So get ready for NVIDIA earnings coming there tomorrow, right? That should be a big one coming through as well. So Salesforce, NVIDIA, HPQ, the bigger ones tomorrow. I did want to look at the stock heat map really quickly. We did talk, this is what I talk about when we had advanced decliners 5-1 today on the S&P 500. I mean, find me a red name here. All right, I'll find you one. What is this? AZ, okay, so AutoZone. We had Autodesk, ADSK last week, AutoZone downside today. That might have been earnings, so they were a little bit down as some of the retail names just continue to go higher. Amazon up 2.5%, Walmart up 1.3%, Costco up 1%. I chose shop at Canadian Tire rather than Home Depot, but Home Depot nicely cooking as well. That's up that, whoops, disconnected. That's up that 2% right there. Eli Lilly, J&J, like every sector right now today seems to have been climbing. We talked about the marijuana sector downside and some names in energy, but Berkshire up, Visa, the financials, JP Morgan up 1.6%. Google, Meta, Google leading the way. Wow, what an impressive day for Google today, up 2.63%. Palantir wasn't, wow, Oracle too, wow. Mike, this may be one of those good days to check your account, man. I think everything right now really blasting up. Oracle has had a good move from that bottom. A lot of traders were worried when we got back into that 120, but never fear. Wow, 160 is here again for Oracle, breaking out through that 161 marker and the 200-period moving average. Let's have a look. Look, I'm just doing this all off the cuff right now as we talk about some different names. We'll look to see some of you guys in the chat momentarily as we're getting Brian ready to go. In just a minute or so, when he's ready, we'll throw Brian back on, or coming on in just 1 second. The return of Brian Shannon. He's had a couple weeks off, good vacation there, and we're going to congratulate this man. I mean, an honor. I sent him just a quick little Instagram to show him that it was 2 years ago. I was just scrolling through Instagram, I was looking for that clip on Tony, ran into one with Brian and I. It doesn't feel like 2 years, but he's been on this show for more than 2 years, once a week, bringing his insights. So we want to thank Brian Shannon at Alpha Trends there on X. So go find him, coming up very, very soon. But yeah, Google, wow, what a good day for them, man. Up nearly 3% as they continue to climb above the 200 period moving average. As we get more and more strength in the quantum names, Google, one of those big players. Do not forget Google's play on quantum. A lot of the time we get sidetracked with, hey, what's up with Google's AI? What's up with their search and how that's been playing off, right? Not great, but they do have a couple different levers they can pull, including one that you're watching right now. Shout out to YouTube, all right? SoundHound, also a flyer today, nicely cooking. Everything AI seemed to be working, including the biggest of them all. I don't think if I have this right here, but Big Bear AI. We're finally in the money on this one as we averaged in, we bought 5, 4, and 3. So our average price in and around $4. Nice to see a nice little move up there with Big Bear AI. Okay, so right now we're having some mic issues with Brian. So as soon as that comes out, we'll have that coming in very, very soon. So thank you, Bears versus Bulls. I did get a couple questions from you. We'll ask Brian if we do get that opportunity. But there goes Big Bear AI. Nice move there. I still really like gold as well. So they had a downside move here today. We could see about buying into some gold at some point. That could be a good one. And I looked at SMH. Look, here, click on SMH. Look how choppy this name's been, right? Especially in and around these levels. Like we know that AMD's been having a go at it as well with a nice move back up through $100 on AMD. We still have Broadcom. We still have NVIDIA. We still have AMD moving around. Marvell is another interesting name that we want to talk about as well with these earnings coming later on this week. May the 29th, so they're going to come in 2 days, PM. And Marvell, another move that's been really hit to the downside, looking to get back to it, is Marvell. So they're going to be reporting on the 29th again. They're autonomous, more into cars, odd things, Internet of Things. So watch out for Marvell Technologies, not Iron Man or anything like that, not Marvel. No Tony Sparks there. They need Is it Stark? Sparks. Tony Stark right there. He needs to give a kick to Marvell as well. So we want to thank everybody for staying tuned. We're just going to get it all fixed up, and then when we are ready to go, we're going to get Brian to come on. No matter how late, we're going to try to get him on there as well. Let's just look at some of the earnings plays before we get Brian on. Okta right now, let's see if they've battled back. No, they're still near the lows in and around 110. This monitor is not even turned on, so I wouldn't worry about that at this point. Yeah, don't worry about it, Fabian. I can talk to him. I don't need the monitor. Me and him connected. Whatever Brian talks about, I should be able to play off of that as well. Tony Stank, that's a funny one there. All right, so Okta is still a nice little downside play as well. All right, let's find out what's going on with Box. So they're a nice little one. The Box not getting cut up, you know, the box cutter, but right now it's a nice move there for Box. I'm very impressed with what this looks like on the daily chart. All the way up here to 35 and change goes Box. So nice little move there as well. All right, man, my biggest trade today, we did short the TQs near the end of the day. That recovered nicely. We did have a nice trade on Palantir today as well, breaking back down below 123, closing nicely at 123. Insider selling for Palantir today as well. That's what sort of sent them to the downside. So that's an interesting name. Considering where the Qs go out, we don't normally see Palantir down, Qs up. We're ready? All right, then we're ready. It's Trader Talk. Let's bring him on. It's Brian. All right, Brian, welcome back. How are you doing? A couple weeks there. You had, I know you had at least 1 week of vacation, and the other one you went to celebrate your Educator of the Year from StockTwits. So we say bang, bang, bang to that one. And congratulations to Mr. Brian Shannon. What a pleasure having you back on. How was your couple weeks away from the market? I'm sure you had your eye on them still.
Well, I wasn't really away from the markets. I did take a couple days down in Florida for 3 days. I took off. So, but you've always got one eye on it. You know how it is, Sean.
Oh, I do. Yeah, it's hard to get away. And I feel like you sent me a nice picture with a nice view of the beach there. And I'm sure your laptop was probably not far away. And congratulations on StockTwits. So was that in New York? Was there a presentation? How did that all go?
That was in New York, and so I went to that. That was like 2 weeks ago. So that was fun. That was a good time, yeah.
Good, great. Okay, well, Brian Shannon, we're glad to have you on board. All right, Brian, today's not NVIDIA earnings, but there are a couple questions here that we had from some of our viewers asking. What's up? Thank you, Tia, for this question. Will we ask Brian about NVIDIA? So I'm going to ask him right now. The question is up or down. We're not here to make predictions about what we think about NVIDIA unless you have one. But what are the charts looking like right here? As we're bouncing around this 130 area, I, for one, think it's going to be hard for them to guide, unknowing of what's going to happen with some of these tariffs, obviously with China as well and some of the chip curbs. But you're hearing anything about NVIDIA? How's the chart setting up? Are you positioned into this report?
You know, I day traded it today, Sean. I did what I consider to be the classic entry, which is chase the gap or wait for VWAP. I talk about it on the indices a lot, but it was also there for a lot of individual stocks. This one, you know, it gapped up to 134.50, pulled back, and then got back above that volume weighted average price, and it was pretty much solid the rest of the day. We dipped below it a little bit at the end of the day, but, you know, I'm out of it. So NVIDIA had a good day, and going into earnings, when you look at the daily chart, we clearly broke that downtrend a couple of about 2 weeks ago, and now we're looking like it. You know, the market likes it. I think the danger is below about, what is this price level here? About 128, 129. You know, and you've got to be careful with these earnings because just like we saw with OKTA, the chart was looking great going into today. It was breaking pretty much to a new high, and then it got clobbered after hours. So they're tough in the earnings, but, you know, heading into it, it looks like the market is expecting good things from NVIDIA.
Yeah, we're just getting your screen sharing ready to go, so I was kind of flipping through some of those plays. I wanted to ask you about a play that I actually think has a chance that maybe we found a little bit of a bottom. Now, I don't know what this is called. I feel like it's coiling up its target. So I'll give you a second to maybe call it up, and then hopefully we'll be able to share your screen. But they did not have a great earnings report as they dropped from 98 all the way into 91. But since then, we are making a little bit of a comeback here for TGT. And I just feel like we're kind of just sort of coiling up, trying to build a base down here in and around 90 to 91. We do have our 50-period moving average looking like it wants to break through this level. And again, I have Katina Capital upgrading this thing once we finally break through $100, but I want to wait for that to happen. And I'm taking something from you and your great book, Maximum Trading Gains with Anchored VWAP, when you talk about positioning and being out of the penalty box. Am I on to something here with Target? Am I a little early or what? But I'm not buying this until we break above 100.
You know, I like, Sean, that it came down and undercut the 2020 lows right there that you see. Yep. And that was also a prior level of resistance in 2018 and 2019. So we slightly undercut that, and that's how we often form lows. My concern is that it's still below the 20, 31, 42-week moving average. So it's going to take time to heal unless it does a V bottom like the market just did. But I like that it's, you know, kind of just, it's coiling underneath this declining 50-day moving average. That 50-day moving average will start to flatten out in about 2 weeks. So I still look at it as range bound, and I think you're right that probably above 100 or so is what gets this thing going.
Oh yeah, we like that one. Okay, so I like it when we're aligned on some of those plays. All right, do you mind if we take a couple questions? I do want to talk to you about some ideas that you may have, but let's go over to our great chat one more time. So they want to know your opinion on, and this is a name that I talked to Steve Tileman from Trade the Pool last week about this one as well. I think Big Bear AI, and I know this is not, they're not making any money. Their earnings per share are minus 25 cents. This is just a shot in the dark on a name that's 25% short float right now and has really bounced off. We've already gone through earnings. They really held the 200-period moving average, which you don't see too often for some of these sort of low floater names. But Big Bear AI looking to break a little bit higher. I feel like we've out of the penalty box, and now that we broke above 4 on a big volume day here, up 23%, now 450. What do you think about this one? I'm almost thinking I'm long at $4, so selfishly sort of asking you about this as well. But Big Bear AI, I wonder if it's a profit spot right here. Take a little bit out and see if we can test this $5 mark, because that looks like there may be a wall there somewhere.
Yeah, Sean, today we got back above the anchor off of that high that you see in February. So we closed above that for the first time since making that high. That's the purple line right here. So that's a positive thing because that has been holding it back, in particular the last 2 weeks. Now, when you look at that action over the last 2 weeks, it got pretty choppy here, as you, I'm sure, are aware, but it pushed through there today. So buyers clearly took control. The next level of interest that might slow it down a little is this 475 level. That's the year-to-date anchor. I don't view that as a major level of concern. When you look at it, this is the type of stock that, as we saw back here, it's capable of really big moves. The one thing I would point out is the average true range percentage is 11.6% per day. So people have to remember that when they're trading it. The volatility cuts both ways, but when this thing gets going, it's capable of big moves, and Big Bear can get maybe up towards that 6.5 level.
Yeah, it's we have like a little fun thing to say here. Is like we're really bearish on Big Bear Eye, which means bullish. So, okay, another quick question here, and I learned from you, and I just dropped an anchored VWAP on CoreWeave, CRWV. And by the way, that last question from Ruxana Tanweer. So thank you so much for that question on Big Bear AI. But now we go over to Rishi. Rishi asking about CoreWeave, and we know this is a recent IPO, and of course they're the ones that will lend out. It's like a system for all of the H100s, various Blackwell chips, and so on and so forth. And just watching out for this whole sector. NVIDIA, a big consumer and investor of CoreWeave. But I just dropped the anchor down here. And they're just relatively new, right? We came back in March 28th, so they've been out about a month and a half. The anchor on their IPO, I mean, it doesn't have too much help here, Brian, at $66. But what are we doing with this? It just keeps on getting hotter and hotter, it seems like, every day.
I think you've just got to raise your stops if you're in it, and it's difficult to tell somebody it's a buy up here at 123. If you look at that anchor from the IPO, though, it was resistance here for a little while. Then we broke above it at that point, so we can put an anchor and say that's where that momentum began. And then we have these higher lows, and then we have this gap up. We can then put an anchor off of this level as a handoff, and we can see that we kind of touched it last week, and here we are running to the upside. I think the name of the game is just protect your gains in there. I think, someone's still buying it up here. I don't know if that's shorts covering or what, but if you've got it, raise your stops and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I always think about that as like an ARM, right? I mean, ARM kept going and going and going for a while, and then eventually it found its top, and then you could base it out. But I really like that look. I've never actually thought about that. So it held the the anchored VWAP, and then all of a sudden now we could put another one where that breakout happened to get us a little bit more of an accurate level. So that's great. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm going to steal that from you, by the way. Okay, J-Flow.
In the book, Sean.
Pardon me?
It's in the book. It's called The Handoff.
Oh, man. I mean, come on. This is an absolute... I'll have to reread this. So now that I'm getting called out. So, all right. The Handoff. Great one. Okay, so we'll look at that again. J-Flow says he'd like to have your take on BTC miners. So I'm just going to run through a few of them, like a Marathon Digital right here. And I think what's frustrating a lot of traders is a lot of them try to put like one-to-one based on, Bitcoin's ripping, therefore some of the miners will rip. We also have Riot. Just wonder if there was a favorite. We can even throw in maybe even some Coinbase, but specifically asking for the miners. Another one was Hut with Hut 8. So maybe Riot, Hut 8, and then Mara. I'm not sure if there's an ETF of miners. I think it's BLOK. Maybe is that block? No, that's data sharing. So there probably is an ETF, but out of those three, is there any work that you've done on Mara, Riot, or Hut, or anything like that? Because as we have it's becoming harder and harder to mine, right? The hash rate keeps going up, and so it's becoming harder and harder to mine these coins. So a lot of traders wondering about some of these mining stocks. Is there anything that you've done work on any of those three names, or any of them that maybe I'm missing?
No, I mean, but I've heard that because it's more difficult to mine them, the supply keeps diminishing, so they're not getting as many of them. But, the price is also, 35% higher than it was a couple months ago. So you would think that would translate to higher prices in these. I find them very frustrating to trade. I think they're very similar to trading the gold miners versus gold. You can't look at GDX and expect it to follow along with GLD. The people who do that will quickly learn that they're not always correlated. So I have stayed away from these for a while simply because I've gotten burned in them too many times during that choppy period late last year. So I really haven't looked close at them. I look at, Riot right now. It's just against that declining 200-day moving average. I don't have a strong feeling for these, Sean.
Yeah, no, I was, just all the halvening that keeps happening keeps on doubling that hash rate, making it harder to acquire said coins. So, what a great, since you've been on here last, we could talk about IBIT or we could talk about the underlying Bitcoin itself. You and I, we talked about Ethereum, what a great run ETH has had. I think it was going out at 26 and change today. That low was like 1,300 or something. That was a great little bottom there. But Bitcoin, again, look at the coiling up here and then the break and then again and then the break higher. I wonder if it's happening again for us right now, a little bottom of 105 and change. Can we start to, again, build a strong base and then blast off of that? I like Bitcoin. We had a little fun bet around here. Does it get to 125 by last weekend? That doesn't happen, but it looks like it's really strong. I like Bitcoin here. I bought some more at 103 once we broke above that 100,000 mark. What do you think about Bitcoin? Is there a better play in the space or what? But I like Bitcoin right here at and near all-time highs.
Yeah, so Bitcoin it's at those new all-time highs. Like you said, it broke out. It's holding on to those gains very impressively. Ethereum, I've still got a little bit of that one that I'm holding. And, Solana probably looks like of the three in terms of the major ones, that one might have the best opportunity for the bigger gains from here at 178. I think you've got a better chance of that going to 200. So, percentage-wise, that's a 10%. I think your next 10% mover is probably in Solana versus Ethereum or Bitcoin.
Yeah, Solana is an interesting name as another smart contract name comes up again and again. Solana, I think, is number 4 or 5 right now on market cap if you take away Tether and USDC. So I always think the same thing, man. Like I'm invested in, I like XRP, Solana, Cardano, all the big ones there. And I think the biggest one, obviously, Bitcoin. What do you think about strategy? MSTR today buying more and more as it keeps on going. So here's MSTR, another look there. And again, a little different than Bitcoin, right? As we're not pushing all-time highs. We're quite faded off of some of those levels. Have you ever talked about trading strategy at all against Bitcoin or any sort of maybe there's a little bit of a hedge there? Or are we just trading IBIT and BTC and Solana and all that, staying away from MSTR? I don't really... It's a little strange, this one, isn't it? To me, I don't know.
It is. It doesn't have that correlation that everyone, would think that they have. Sometimes it outperforms, and then, last week it started to underperform, Thursday, Friday in particular. So I don't trade Mister. I figure if I'm going to own Bitcoin, I'd rather own it than have Michael Saylor own it for me. I don't understand why people give them so much money to buy Bitcoin when they can just buy it themselves. It's a strange business model. I don't understand it. The chart is, it can give you good opportunities, but again, I think the purer play is to just buy Bitcoin and trade that yourself.
Okay, Brian, thank you so much. I don't want to keep you for too much longer as we're past 4:30, but I didn't get any ideas from you. Is there anything right now? And again, you're an absolutely great follow on X. I want everybody to go over there and find at Alpha Trends. But you do, again, daily talks, weekly talks with some of your followers as well. What are you guys looking at right now? Is there anything that's at the top of your mind that we could give a little sneak peek to some of our viewers?
Like I said, I bought some Amazon today. I'm holding that. I have a little bit of Apple. And I think that this one for tomorrow, Archer. Okay. Sorry about that. Archer Aviation has a pretty good short position in it. It was up on earnings over here. It's pulled back now. I think that tomorrow it looks like a great buy with a stop underneath today's low. So go with ACHR. It's got that 5-day moving average just flattening out. it's got, what I look for here.
Yeah, it looks pretty strong there. Good little graph chart for sure. You never asked me to do it, and obviously I need to read it again. Maximum Trading Gains with Anchored VWAP. This is your second book, not a third one coming? I always ask you.
No.
Darn it. Okay. Well, make sure we go grab that. That's on Amazon, right? So right there, we go grab that on Amazon. Interesting that you stepped into an Amazon position right there. Watch Target if that breaks through 100. We'll have an eye on that, and I'll hopefully talk to you about that next week. But thank you so much once again for coming on. It's great to have you back after a 2-week hiatus. You were definitely missed by a lot of the viewers and by the show. So thank you so much. Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends. Yes, would you like to say something? Go ahead.
I was in Florida because I had a presentation for the Money Show.
Right.
And in the room of the people who were watching it, I think there were 4 people, Sean, who said, one of them was named Cherry, and they came up to me and said, hey, I've seen you, I found out about you from Trader TV Live.
Perfect. Well,
so that's pretty cool.
Now, that is pretty cool. I mean, we're doing over 100,000 views a day right now, and over 525,000 subscribers. So that's great to hear. And yeah, let's just keep on passing along the good word of the show and all the good work that you're doing as well. So thank you for those kind words. That makes us feel pretty good around here that more and more people are watching and following. So thank you, Brian, for that. But hey, make sure you're going to join me next Tuesday, right? And we'll discuss those NVIDIA earnings.
I will be here. You bet.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. One of my favorites. It's Brian Shannon. Have a great week. Bye.
You too.
All right, there it goes, man. Thank you, Brian. Again, obviously a great friend of the show. I think he's been on here 3-4 years. We want to thank Brian for all of that. And again, what a great book. The Handoff. I'm going to read about that one. When one anchored VWAP hands off to the next. Thank you so much, Fabian, for staying late. Thank you, Ramin, as well. Thank you to Satea today. Thank you to Brendan as well for the morning show. Sharif. I'm going to forget somebody, Joe, well, I probably won't, and Obi, there you go, and Andre, I almost did, right there. And Bears versus Bulls, oh my God, and everybody watching as well. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to my lovely wife and all the family and everybody, all my trading family as well. It was an interesting show. Tomorrow I'm with Sharif, and tomorrow's the big one. Get your popcorn ready, man. Get your coffee, get whatever you want. Tomorrow is the big one. It's NVIDIA. Don't stay logged into this stream, but stay logged in tomorrow at 8:30 when we do it all over again. For everybody here at Trader TV Live, I'm Sean Katina, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side tomorrow. We'll chat then.